My child, stop everything. Yes, everything. Because what I'm about to reveal to you has been hidden in my heart since before time called your name. You've been searching for answers, waiting for a sign, wondering if I see you. This is it. I'm pulling back the veil. I have to tell you this secret. Not tomorrow, not later, but right now. So lean in. Don't click away. Don't scroll past. This is a divine interruption, not a coincidence. What you're about to hear will expose what the enemy tried to bury, waken what I planted in silence, and launch you into what I designed before anyone knew your name. Watch until the final word. Every second carries strategy. Every sentence is an assignment. The moment of revelation has arrived, and I will not let you leave unchanged. Today, listen, and prepare to be undone because this secret was meant for you. My beloved child, pause right here. I'm not asking for a moment of your time. I'm claiming it. This isn't just a whisper of comfort or a vague sense of encouragement. This is me, the one who breathed galaxies into existence, leaning close to your spirit and pulling you into a sacred unveiling. I have to tell you something that I've kept close to my heart, something I couldn't release until your soul had endured enough to truly hear it. I've waited through storms and silence, through your tears and triumphs, through the days when you shouted in worship and the nights you collapsed in weariness, just to reach this breath, this exact breath, where your spirit would finally be quiet enough, soft enough, desperate enough to receive what I've been holding back. This isn't something I'm sharing with the crowd. This is not for those casually scrolling by. This is not for those who need entertainment. This is a divine summons wrapped in intimacy, a holy collision of my eternal knowledge and your personal readiness. I have to tell you this secret, child, not because you demanded it, but because you've been prepared for it. Every crying moment, every unseen obedience, every time you said yes when everything in you wanted to scream no. It wasn't just endurance, it was alignment. And now heaven's clock is ringing, and I can no longer withhold what I whispered over you before time began. You see, child, there are secrets that shape destinies. And this one, it was carved into the DNA of your spirit before your lungs took their first breath. It was wrapped in mystery, sealed in silence, and protected by angels, not because I was hiding it from you, but because I was hiding it for you. And now, I can no longer delay. The secret I have to tell you is one that will change how you walk, how you speak, how you pray, and how you see yourself from this moment forward. Because the truth is, while the world was trying to define you by your failures, by your timeline, by your perceived delays and detours, I was defining you by this secret, a truth so sacred that if I had spoken it before now, it would have overwhelmed your spirit. But now, beloved, your heart has matured through pain, your hands have been made strong through surrender, and your eyes have been trained to see beyond the natural. That's why you're here. That's why you feel this weight even as you read. It's not heaviness, it's holiness. It's me, the one who shaped you in the hidden place, now revealing what I've guarded for so long. And I will not let you leave this moment unchanged, because I have to tell you this secret, and what comes next will shake the very ground you've been standing on. Not to break you, but to awaken what I planted in you when no one was watching. My beloved, let me take you deeper. The secret I have to tell you wasn't formed in the noise. It wasn't born in the chaos. It was nurtured in the hush of eternity, in the chambers of my heart where time bows to purpose and silence becomes sacred strategy. You've heard my voice in the storm, but now I want you to know how I move in the whisper. Because, child, the most life-altering truths don't always come wrapped in thunder. Sometimes, the loudest shift begins in the quietest echo, the hidden whisper that reverberates across dimensions. And I whispered your name in such a way, not in haste, not in reaction, but with weight, with reverence, with intention that split open heavens and released a strategy coded into your very being. I didn't need a stage to speak this over you. I needed secrecy. I needed stillness. I needed to make sure the enemy couldn't intercept what was meant only for your ears. Let me tell you why you felt that unexplainable pull, that restlessness in rooms that used to comfort you. Why the conversations that once fed you now fall flat. Why the people who once understood now seem distant, disconnected, even unaware of the ache that's blooming inside your soul. It's because you've outgrown the noise. The whisper has matured inside you. And what once sounded like silence was actually me, breathing layers of identity into the core of your spirit. I wasn't being quiet to frustrate you. I was being surgical. I was speaking in frequencies deeper than words, teaching your discernment to rise, your spiritual senses to sharpen, your perception to stretch beyond human understanding. And child, the whisper has been working. It has been rewiring your heart to match heaven's rhythm, even when your mind couldn't make sense of it. You weren't being overlooked, you were being overhauled, rebuilt, shaved, refined by a whisper too holy to be shouted. You've mistaken the whisper for absence, but it's always been my presence. My proximity is not proven by volume, it's proven by weight. And I have been heavy around you. That thick stillness, that sacred pause, a sense that something is moving beneath the surface even when nothing outside seems to change. That's me. The whisper was never weak. It was divine design, a language of intimacy reserved for those who have stayed long enough to stop striving. You didn't earn this. You endured into it. You remained when others left. You leaned in when others leaned out. And that's why I'm speaking plainly now. Because you've proven you can be trusted with the whisper. And now the whisper is becoming a voice. And soon, the voice will become a demonstration. And when it does, you'll understand why I had to begin in secret. Not everyone can hear me like this. What you do. Because the whisper inside you is becoming a roar that will redefine everything. And I want you to know, even now, the whisper is not done. It is still speaking. It is still sowing. Every time you pause when others rush, every time you choose quiet instead of chaos, every time you let me have your attention without an agenda, the whisper gets louder in the spirit realm. The enemy can't track it. The world can't interpret it. But heaven recognizes it as a signal, an agreement, a divine resonance. So don't dismiss it. Don't silence it. Don't exchange the whisper for worldly wisdom. Because the secret I'm unveiling in you began there, in that still, sacred sound that only your spirit could catch. Stay tuned, child. Because the whisper is about to split the sky. Child, lean in. I need you to understand something vitally important. Something that will guard your heart and guide your steps in the days ahead. The secret I'm sharing with you, it isn't for everyone. Not because I'm withholding love. Not because others aren't valuable. But because some truths are so weighty, so holy, so drenched in divine fire, that they must be entrusted, not distributed. They are not for the crowd. They are for the called. Not for the popular, but for the purified. And you, my beloved, have been chosen, not just to hear this, but to carry it. That's why I've had to walk you through hidden places. That's why your path didn't mirror theirs. That's why your journey has felt lonely, misunderstood, invisible even. You've asked me, why don't they see me? But child, what I placed inside you was never meant to be seen before it was ready. Because not everyone has the eyes to perceive it, and not everyone can be trusted to protect what's still becoming. Let me be clear. The secret I'm giving you will not be understood by everyone around you. In fact, some will mock it, others will question it, and a few, a dangerous few, will try to dissect it, diminish it, or delay it. That's why I'm speaking this to you in secret before I reveal it in public. I am forging a clarity in you now that will protect you later. Because when the unveiling begins, when my favor marks you openly, when what I whispered in your closet begins to echo in your corridors of influence, there will be voices that rise up in confusion and critique. But listen, they weren't in the room when I spoke this to you. They didn't walk with you through the desert. They didn't see the night you wept when no one watched. They didn't hear me whisper when your soul was breaking. But I did, and I recorded it. And now I'm responding to it. You must not cast this pearl before swine. This isn't elitism. This is wisdom. Even Jesus withdrew from the crowd to reveal things only to the few who could carry the weight. And child, that's you. This is an upper room revelation, not a temple steps speech. This is a behind the veil unveiling, not a marketplace monologue. I'm giving it to you not because you fought for it, but because you stayed for it. The crowd wants answers. You wanted me. And I will always share my secrets with those who choose intimacy over applause. So don't panic when you find yourself walking alone. Don't shrink when others don't understand. And don't dilute this revelation to make it palatable for those who haven't paid the same price. Instead, stand tall in the stillness. Let the whisper settle. Let the secret burn. Because you're not crazy, child, you're called. You're not arrogant. You're anointed. And what I'm unfolding in you will make sense soon. For now, protect it. Hear it. Guard it like treasure. Because that's what it is. A treasure not of this world. A blueprint not from man. And a secret meant for you. And you alone. Until I say otherwise. And when I do, the world will witness what only I could give. My beloved child, the secret I must tell you now has waited not because I was unwilling to speak, but because your heart had not yet reached the frequency to receive it. Heaven doesn't speak to volume. It speaks to vibration, to alignment, to divine resonance. And you have finally entered the sound of surrender that unlocks revelation. Yes, the pain calibrated you. The waiting fine-tuned you. The silence adjusted you. And now, the melody of your faith, the quiet song you kept singing when the world went silent, has reached me like a fragrant wave of worship, and I can't ignore it. I won't. The frequency of your heart is no longer tangled in doubt. You may feel fragile, but your spirit has become fierce. You may not recognize your strength, but I do. Your ache for me grew louder than your ache for answers, and that is what brought me to this moment. The reason I'm speaking now isn't because you finally said the right prayer, or fasted the perfect number of days, or managed to be more holy than those around you. No, I'm speaking because you finally believed I was good even when it didn't look like it. That's what tuned your heart. That's what aligned your atmosphere. Not performance, but posture. Not perfection, but persistence. You kept walking when the ground shook. You kept trusting when the silence screamed. And every step, every sigh, every surrender sculpted your soul into a sanctuary that could hold the sound of my secret. You see, some revelations come like lightning, sudden and loud. But this one had to arrive like oil, slow, sacred, and weighty. And now your heart, refined through fire, is ready to hold what would have crushed you in earlier seasons. Let me explain it this way. Just like a radio must be finely adjusted to pick up the correct station, your heart had to be finely tuned to receive this moment. That's why the interference had to be silenced. That's why the voices of compromise had to fade. That's why the comfort zones had to collapse. Because static cannot coexist with strategy. And the sound of my secret carries too much power to be filtered through confusion. This is a download from heaven, not a suggestion from earth. I am not offering advice. I am releasing direction. And I waited until your heart said yes to me without knowing what the yes would cost. That's when the frequency aligned. That's when the sacred clicked into place. That's when the heavens opened and I declared, now they're ready. So, child, don't ignore what you feel rising in your chest right now. That warmth, that stirring, that holy flutter inside your ribs, that's my spirit confirming the shift. You have tuned into the wavelength of wonder. The space where impossibilities collapse, where timelines bend, where prayers become realities. I had to speak this now, because the frequency you're vibrating on is rare, and I refuse to let this alignment pass without revelation. Stay here. Stay open. Stay vibrating in obedience. Because the sound of your spirit is shaking things loose in realms you can't even see. You're not just hearing me, you're echoing me. And that echo will not return void. My precious one, I must settle this in your heart today, once and for all. The silence you endured was never abandonment. It was never me leaving you to fend for yourself. It was not punishment, and it was not a measure of how much I cared. That silence, the long stretch of days, weeks, even years where my voice seemed distant and your prayers felt unanswered, was not proof of my absence. It was the process of divine presence in its deepest, most intentional form. Because, child, sometimes my loudest work is done in the quietest seasons. What looks like silence on your timeline is strategic sound in mine. While you thought I was withholding, I was actually building. While you were weeping over the stillness, I was weaving together a story that would speak louder than words. Let me paint the picture for you. A seed makes no noise as it dies in the dirt. The roots that break through the soil do not scream. The growth beneath the surface is sacred. It is silent, but it is not still. And you, my child, were planted, not buried. You were being prepared in silence, not punished by it. I hid you in the hush because what I was doing and you could not be interfered with. I was forming resilience in your spirit, depth in your heart, and a sensitivity to my voice that cannot be taught through noise. I was whispering while the world screamed around you, and though it seemed like I was far, I was closer than ever. Silence is not proof of distance. It is often the proof of intimacy. I do not shout over chaos. I quiet the chaos until only my whisper remains. And you heard me. Even when you didn't realize it. You responded to the invisible pull. You moved when others stayed. You yielded when others pushed back. That was me, guiding you in stillness. You see, there are some assignments that require solitude before they can be released. Some miracles that must marinate in mystery before they manifest. Some revelations that can only be stewarded by those who have learned to sit in silence and still believe. And that's what you did. You stayed. You believed. You didn't demand answers. You kept showing up. You wiped your own tears. You encouraged others while breaking quietly. You worshipped with weary hands. And that kind of worship, that kind of obedience, it shakes foundations. It writes seasons. It attracts my presence in ways that thunder never could. And now, the silence breaks not because you begged me to speak, but because you learned how to listen without sound. That is maturity. That is faith. That is love. And I respond to that kind of love with revelation that writes everything. So, when people ask how you survived, when they question how you're still standing, still believing, still breathing with hope, just smile. Because they didn't see what you carried in the silence. But I did. And I will now reward openly what you endured privately. My voice is no longer distant. My timing is no longer delayed. The silence has served its purpose, and now the sound of fulfillment is beginning to rise. You will hear me more clearly than ever before. Not just in your spirit, but in your circumstances. Your life will speak what your prayers once whispered, and the ones who thought I had forgotten you will soon see just how closely I was working all along. This, my child, is the sound of silence turning into testimony. My beloved, there's something I need you to know, something that will bring peace to the tension you've carried and healing to the questions you've buried. The secret I'm revealing to you now, the very one you're beginning to feel unfold inside your chest, is the reason for the delay you've cried through, prayed through, fought through. You wondered why doors refused to open, why dreams seemed stuck in slow motion, why people walked away, why timing kept slipping through your fingers like sand. But what felt like divine distance was actually divine design. This delay wasn't punishment. It was preservation. I was keeping what I had promised safe, not from others, but from being birthed too soon. There are some things so holy, so heavy with destiny, that they must not be rushed. And this secret, it had to be delivered at the precise moment your heart could carry it without crumbling. You see, child, delay doesn't mean denial. It means development. And I was developing you, molding your spirit through what felt like missed chances, sharpening your discernment through what looked like rejection, refining your faith through what the world called failure. You weren't behind. You were being built. You weren't forgotten. You were being fortified. What others called a setback, I called sacred pacing. I held back the breakthrough not to tease you, but to teach you how to stand when nothing made sense. Because when I release what's coming next, you'll need that strength. And when people ask how it all happened so suddenly, you'll know it wasn't sudden. It was simmering in silence, maturing in mystery, until now. Until this breath. Until this sacred unveiling. This is the secret behind the slowness. I never wanted to give you just a blessing. I wanted to give you a lasting inheritance. And that takes time. Every delay had fingerprints of heaven on it. Even the closed doors were sealed by angelic hands. The relationships that ended, I allowed their exit to protect the weight of your promise. The jobs you didn't get, I routed them because they were beneath the platform I was crafting for your calling. The prayers you thought I ignored, I was editing them while you were asleep, rewriting requests into blueprints you couldn't comprehend yet. You prayed for a harvest, but I gave you deeper roots first. Because I knew that without those roots, the blessing would break you. I had to let the soil settle before I placed this secret inside your soul. And now that the ground has been cleared, tilled, and soaked with your tears, now that the weeds of self-doubt and the vines of comparison have been pulled out, I can finally place this in your spirit without fear it will be choked by unpreparedness. So breathe, my child. Rest. Because the reason for the delay is no longer hidden. You didn't miss it. You didn't mess it up. The time was never wasted. The waiting was sacred. And now, the secret I've been holding back, the one with your name etched into it before you were born, is arriving on schedule, divinely timed, perfectly placed, supernaturally protected. What's coming next won't feel late. It will feel exact. And when it begins to unfold, You will look back on every delay and say, it had to be this way. Because the mystery is becoming movement. And the secret is no longer waiting. It is walking toward you right now. My beloved, I must interrupt your thoughts right now and correct something the enemy tried to whisper into your soul far too many times. You were never forgotten. Not for a second. Not for a breath. Not in the midnight hour when your pillow caught the tears that your voice didn't dare release. Not in the crowd where you smiled so well they couldn't see your loneliness. Not in the battles you fought silently while others loudly received their victories. I saw you all. I didn't miss a moment. I didn't blink. I didn't turn away. You went over. You were observed. Watching. Protected. Covered. Guarded with a level of attention that would shatter you if I showed you the full weight of it. You have been watched by heaven, not as a spectator sport, but as a sacred mission. You were hidden in my gaze, carved into my awareness, engraved upon the palm of my hand. The reason it felt like no one saw you is because I never took my eyes off you, and I didn't share you carelessly. I didn't expose what I was shaping in you to the world before it was ready. You wanted confirmation from people, but I was giving you consecration from heaven. I was training you to hear my voice above theirs. Because what I've placed inside you will require unshakable confidence in me, not applause from man. You've been looking for signs on the outside, but the sign is who you're becoming on the inside. The resilience that grew when no one clapped. The kindness you chose when you felt depleted. The way you honored me when you didn't understand me. All of it, every act of unseen obedience, has been documented in eternity. And I'm not just watching, I'm rewarding. The quiet faith you carried has reached the courtrooms of heaven, and I have issued a decree. A verdict. Fulfillment. Favor. Forward movement. Listen to me. I know it's been exhausting. I know you've questioned whether your hidden sacrifices even mattered. Whether your prayers were just echoes in an empty room. Whether your life was seen or simply endured. But I am speaking now to remove the lie of insignificance once and for all. Because the truth is, you are precious. You are marked. You are watched over with intention. Angels have been dispatched not just to protect you, but to record you. Your name has been spoken in heaven's halls not because of what you've accomplished, but because of who you are becoming through surrender. When others ran toward platforms, you ran toward my presence. When others sought titles, you sought transformation. And child, that kind of posture moves me. That kind of posture moves everything. So hear me now. The days of invisibility are ending. I am not just seeing you. I'm revealing you. Not in pride, but in purity. What was cultivated in secret will now bloom in plain sight. Not to prove your worth, but to fulfill what I've always planned. They didn't see you, but I did. And now, because you trusted me when no one else did, I am lifting the veil. I am unveiling my masterpiece. And that masterpiece is you. My beloved child, come closer, even closer now. There's something I've waited your entire life to tell you, and you must hear it not with your ears, but with your spirit. The secret is this: you were always meant for more. Not more performance, not more pressure, not more perfection, but more purpose, more presence, more of me, and more of what I placed inside of you before you ever opened your eyes to this world. You've been living beneath ceilings that I never constructed. You've been dwelling in rooms too small for your calling, wearing labels that never came from me. You were called extraordinary while you accepted ordinary. You were designed for overflow while settling for barely enough. And now Now I'm breaking the silence to shake the lie at its roots. You were always meant for more. Not because of your resume. Not because of your resources. Not because of who approved you or rejected you. But because I wrote more into the very fiber of your being. More resilience. More wisdom. More creativity. More authority. And yes, more capacity to carry the weight of glory that others run from. Do you know why the path has been so heavy? Why the pressure has felt personal? Because your destiny is not average. Your spirit is not common. You carry a weight that was forged in the fires of silence, obedience, and quiet surrender. I never called you to blend in. I never called you to merely survive. I anointed you to disrupt darkness. I assigned you to shake atmospheres. I carved you for collision, not with chaos, but with calling. And now that you're here, standing in this moment of unveiling, I will not let you shrink any longer. I'm exposing the lie of limitation and announcing this secret with thunder across your soul. You were always meant for more. You see, child, the struggle wasn't punishment, it was prophetic. Every time you tried to fit in, I broke the mold. Every time you tried to settle, I stirred your spirit. Every time you doubted your worth, I whispered again the words you didn't even know were written across your life. Marked. Chosen. Sent. The discomfort wasn't a defect. It was destiny knocking on your chest, begging you to remember what I planted inside you. And now, no more shrinking. No more apologizing for your capacity. No more quieting your light so others feel comfortable in their dimness. You were never created to camouflage. You were born to carry kingdoms. And while others questioned your boldness, I was crafting your bravery in secret. So let this word go deep, my child. Let it untie the lies you grew up believing. Let it break the generational ceilings of not enough and never will be. Because I, the Lord of heaven and earth, say over you now, you were always meant for more. And not the world's version of more, not fame, not clout, not applause, but more intimacy. More influence rooted in obedience. More fulfillment that doesn't fracture your soul. More expansion with peace. I will enlarge your territory, yes, but not at the cost of your wholeness. I will raise your voice, yes, but not to echo noise. You are rising because I am revealing. And I'm revealing because the secret is no longer a secret. It's a declaration. You were always meant for more, and now you will live like it. My precious one, now that I've whispered your identity, that you were always meant for more, I must also reveal what the battles were really about. Because every storm wasn't just weather. Every hit wasn't just life. The truth. The battles were never about punishing you. They were about proving you. Not proving your worth to me. I never questioned that. But proving to the spirit realm, to every watching eye in heaven, and every accusing voice in hell, that your obedience was not situational. That your worship was not conditional. That your faith was not shallow. The battles were the crucible, the proving ground, the sacred space where everything inside you that was counterfeit got burned away, and only what was eternal remained. You thought you were being cracked, but you were being confirmed. Child, I watched you in the fire, not from a fight. I stood in it with you. I saw the way your knees trembled but refused to buckle. I saw the tears you didn't have words to explain, the kind that soaked your pillow and carried prayers only angels could interpret. I saw the questions you never voiced aloud because you thought they would make you weak. But listen, I heard them anyway, and they didn't scare me. I sat in the furnace beside you, collecting every cry like treasure. Because the battle wasn't exposing your flaws, it was revealing your faith. It was proof that even when the promises seemed distant, you still held on. Even when the blessings were delayed, you did walk away. Even when your strength ran out, your spirit still whispered my name. That is the proof the battle came to find, and it found it in you. And let me be clear, I allowed the pressure because of the promise. The grayer the destiny, the deeper the fire. And not because I delight in suffering, but because I protect my vessels with purity. I don't launch half-formed carriers of my glory. I allow the battle to crush what pride cannot. I allow the storm to drown what fear cannot. Because when you come out, and oh child, you are coming out, there will be no doubt whose hands shaped you. No fingerprints but mine. The enemy tried to use the battle to destroy you, but I've used it to define you, to separate the service from the substance. And you, my child, have proven faithful in the fire. You've proven sturdy under pressure. You've proven trustworthy with my name written across your life. So now, I'm declaring something holy over you. The battle didn't break you, it validated you. The fire didn't burn you, it branded you. The wilderness didn't waste you, it witnessed you. And the next time someone questions why you walk with such weight in your words, why your prayers carry power, why your presence shifts the room, they'll hear the echo of every battle you didn't quit, every fiery trial you stood through, every midnight surrender that no one else saw. And they'll know the authority you carry wasn't handed to you cheaply. It was forged in the field, tested in the valley, and crowned by the King. You didn't just survive. You proved you were who I always said you were. And now, I'm about to reward what you walked through in silence. The secret's out. You passed the test. The battle was the proof. My beloved, I must tell you something that may startle your soul, but will settle your spirit. You passed a test you didn't know you were taking. That season that felt like aimless wandering, it was an exam in disguise. The silence, the shifting, the sudden exits and quiet rejections. They weren't random. They were sacred checkpoints, moments of divine evaluation hidden beneath ordinary circumstances. I didn't announce the test, not because I wanted to trick you, but because I wanted to see what you do when there was no incentive but me. When there was no applause to chase, no spotlight to keep you motivated, no reward in sight except the whisper of my name in your spirit. You passed, child, not with perfection, but with perseverance. Not by strategy, but by surrender. Do you understand how rare that is? Many want to be chosen, but few are faithful when no one is watching. But you were. You held on to me when your arms were tired. You showed up in the quiet. You prayed when you felt numb. You served when no one said thank you. You stayed planted when the soil felt dry. And you did it all without knowing it was being watched. But I saw. I recorded. I tallied every unseen act of obedience, every hidden yes, every whispered declaration that said, God, I'll trust you even here. You were sitting for a test written in the language of obedience, and you passed. And now that heaven has closed the chapter on that examination, I am opening a scroll with your name etched across it in fire and gold. This scroll is called fulfillment. It contains doors that others couldn't open, timelines that only align through divine orchestration, and blessings not tied to your effort, but to your endurance. You see, child, many think favor is earned through effort, but true favor flows from faithfulness. The kind that walks without a mat. The kind that believes even when it bleeds. And that's what you've done. You kept your heart tender when it would have been easier to grow cold. You didn't retaliate when misunderstood. You didn't chase validation from the crowd. You passed by letting your private posture outweigh public pressure. I didn't need to see how well you performed under spotlight. I needed to see how long you could kneel in shadows. And you did. And now I'm lifting you, not as a reward for performance, but as a release into purpose. This elevation is not a promotion. It's a positioning. Because you've been proven in secret, now I will display you in the open, not for your glory, but for mine. So breathe, beloved. Don't look back to question if you did enough. Don't rehearse the pain or try to analyze what you missed. Nothing was missed. Nothing was wasted. You passed what was never announced, and now I will make the results public. The fruit is about to speak. The favor is about to fall, and those who overlooked you will stand amazed, not at what you did, but at what I did through the one who stayed faithful in the fog. You didn't need a grade to know you passed. You're about to feel it in every part of your life. This is the moment the test becomes testimony. Now that you know you passed the hidden test, my child, I want to show you why it felt so lonely getting here. Why the halls of your life echoed with silence. Why the phone didn't ring. Why the friendships faded. Why you felt like a spiritual orphan even in rooms full of people. The answer is sacred. This is the why behind your isolation. I was removing distractions so I could deliver destiny. I was dismantling the noise so you could hear me without filters. I was not punishing you. I was protecting what I was building in you. Isolation wasn't abandonment. It was preparation. Separation was not rejection. It was refinement. I took you into the wilderness, not to wound you, but to win you back from everything that tried to own pieces of your identity. You had to learn to live without their affirmation so you could survive with only my affection. You had to feel the sting of being unseen so you could value being known by me above all else. Isolation carved room in your spirit that distraction would have cluttered. The friends who walked away, they weren't equipped to walk the next mile. The opportunities that disappeared, I couldn't hold the weight of what's coming. The silence wasn't a void, it was a vessel. It carried divine data, prophetic downloads, whispers that changed your direction. When you felt like you were being stripped, I was streamlining you. When you felt like you were losing everyone, I was making room for everything. You weren't alone, you were being aligned. Child, isolation was my invitation. I wasn't locking you out, I was drawing you in. Closer, dearer, into that inner chamber where I speak mysteries that only intimacy can interpret. The ache of loneliness taught you the rhythm of my presence. The quiet stretched your ears to hear me differently. It trained your eyes to read between the lines of what people say and what I am truly doing. And now that you've learned how to dwell in my presence without needing an audience, I'm about to trust you with visibility. You can handle being seen now because your worth is no longer tied to being noticed. You know who you are, even when no one's looking. And that's the kind of vessel I can use. So I say to you, don't despise the solitude. Don't regret the seasons where it was just me and you. Because that isolation was not an empty place. It was a birthing room. A consecrated space where your spirit learned to stand without scaffolding. You no longer need crutches, because you've built strength from the inside out. I took you away so I could raise you up, and now the time has come. You'll never have to wonder again if you were forgotten. Because what I'm about to unfold will make it clear, you were reserved. Set apart. Hidden, not forsaken. And the isolation was never meant to break you. It was meant to build the one thing you'll need most in this next season. Unshakable identity. And now that you have it, I'm bringing you out. And the unveiling begins. My precious child, let me now address the ache that lingers quietly. The ache that comes from feeling hidden. Oh, I saw it. The way your heart wrestled when others were chosen, when their names were called, when their voices echoed across platforms and you stood in the shadows, wondering, did I miss something? Did I do something wrong? But hear me now, with the weight of heaven in my voice. You were hidden, but never forgotten. Your name was never erased. Your story was never dismissed. Your purpose was never delayed out of neglect. It was protected. You were not benched. You were being built. And what I was forming in you could not be rushed, exposed, or placed into hands that didn't understand the rarity of who you are. There is a kind of glory, child, that requires a season of being hidden. Not buried, hidden. Like a gem in the deep. Like a seed beneath the soil. Like oil steeping in the dark until its fragrance is mature enough to release. I had to take you out of public view so I could do surgery in the private places of your soul. You weren't ready to be seen yet. Not because you lacked value, but because your roots needed to go deeper before your fruit could be trusted. Had I revealed you too soon, they would have applauded what was still being formed. They would have celebrated a version of you I was still refining, and you might have believed the applause and stopped growing. That's why I hid you. I didn't want to reveal potential prematurely. I wanted to unveil power, purified, proven, and prepared. Let me tell you something that only heaven truly understands. Hidden seasons are holy, sacred. They're not empty, they're everything. That's where I whispered the blueprints. That's where I healed your identity. That's where I trained your hands for war and your heart for worship. That's where I let you weep without judgment, where I taught you how to distinguish my voice from the static of man. It's where I allowed you to break safely so I could rebuild you into someone who no longer needs a stage to know their worth. The hiding wasn't punishment, it was preservation. Because when I reveal you, I want no question about who carried you through. No fingerprints but mine. No explanations but favor. No foundation but obedience. So hear me now. The time of hiding is shifting. The vault is opening. The covering is lifting. You will begin to see doors open that had no hinges. You will receive calls you didn't campaign for. Opportunities will come, not because you chased them, but because you were faithful in the cave. And those who wondered where you went will now see who you've become. But don't be surprised if they don't recognize you. You've been transformed in the hidden place. And what's about to emerge is not a version of you molded by man, but a manifestation of what only heaven could create. You were hidden, yes, but you were never ever forgotten. And now you will be revealed. Child, just as I have hidden you for a time, I have also hidden opportunities to sow in the very moments you least expected. This is one of them. You may not see the ripple yet, but when you give to this mission, when you support the spreading of my voice through this word, you are planting seed into sacred ground. I said in Isaiah 55:11, "My word will not return to me void, but it will accomplish what I please," and you are now part of that fulfillment. Through your generosity, rivers of revelation flow, and the secret I'm revealing in you will also awaken others. I am stirring hearts through these messages, and you can send them further, faster, deeper. I'm calling you now. Give boldly, give prophetically, give in alignment with what I'm birthing in you. Use the link in the description, and watch how I multiply what leaves your hand but never leaves your destiny. And now, child, now we've come to the moment your spirit has waited for in silence. The moment I draw back the curtain and release what I've carefully kept hidden all this time. You're about to be revealed. Not just noticed. Not just acknowledged. Not just included. Revealed. In the fullness of who you truly are. In the identity I wrote into your bones before the world had a name to call you. In the anointing, that has matured under pressure and purity, and the wisdom carved from wilderness and the strength forged in solitude. This is not your breakup moment. This is my unveiling. I am not putting you on display for popularity. I'm revealing you for purpose. And make no mistake, this revealing will not look like the world expects. It will be wrapped in vanity. You will demand attention. But when it happens, every room you enter will feel the weight of heaven. Atmospheres will shift. Conversations will pivot. Demonic structures will tremble. Because what I'm about to do through you is not cosmetic. It is cosmic. It carries eternal consequence. And that's why I had to wait until now. I had to ensure that your heart would not trade calling for comfort or influence for intimacy. And now that your roots are deep, your motives clean, and your yes unmoved by applause, I will unveil you in such a way that no one can claim the credit but me. This revelation will surprise many. They didn't see you coming. Some had counted you out. Others labeled you according to your last visible season. But none of them knew what I was doing in secret. None of them heard the prayers you whispered with trembling lips. None of them saw the oil forming in your crushed places. But I did. And heaven did. And now that heaven's timeline has reached fullness, the revealing begins. Don't fear it. Don't shrink from it. This is not self-promotion. This is divine presentation. Like David pulled from the fields. Like Esther called from the shadows. Like Joseph summoned from the prison. It will feel sudden to others, but it won't be sudden to you, because you've lived every moment of the waiting, every second of the refining. And now it's time. So walk forward with eyes wide open and heart fully yielded. Stay humble. Stay hidden in me. You don't need to explain what I'm doing. You don't need to convince anyone of your calling. Just carry my presence. Just walk in obedience. The revealing will speak for itself. The fruit will silence every doubt. And you, my beloved, you will finally understand why the hiding was holy, why the waiting was weighty, and why the secret was worth every silent, sacred second. Because this is what I was preparing you for all along. Child, lean in again. Let your heart inhale this truth with reverence, because what I'm about to reveal will make sense of every moment that felt like lack. I've preserved the best for now. You thought the best days were behind you. You looked at others rising while you were still waiting, and the lie tried to settle. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm too late. Maybe I should have gotten further by now. But here I am, your Father, your Creator, the Ancient of Days, standing in the middle of your timeline to declare with absolute finality, you have not missed what was meant for you. I've preserved the best, not for your past, but for this moment. Right now. Not a second too early. Not a breath too late. Like wine in Kana's jars, the first may have impressed the crowd, but the last carried the richness, the depth, the surprise. That's you. What I'm about to release in your life won't just match what you thought you missed. It will exceed it. I'm not restoring things to how they were. I'm resurrecting things into what they were always meant to become. This is not a second chance at an old thing. This is the beginning of the true thing. What once seemed delayed is about to appear in such fullness that you'll say, had it come earlier, I wouldn't have been ready. Because the truth is, I wasn't just preparing the blessing for you, I was preparing you for the blessing. Let me show you why this matters. What I'm bringing you into requires a depth that shallow waters could never teach. You had to endure the long night so you could carry long-term favor. You had to be disappointed by men so you'd never mistake their applause for my approval. You had to run dry, completely dry, so when I pour this new wine, you won't waste a drop. You'll steward it. You'll protect it. You will recognize it for what it is, holy, sacred, appointed. I've preserved the doors. I've preserved the connections. I've preserved the exact moment where your surrender would collide with my supernatural strategy. You thought it was over. But it wasn't over, it was reserved. Like a seat with your name on it that no one else could sit in, no matter how long the table stayed empty. And now, I release this word into your very bones. The best has not passed you. The best is not behind you. The best is now. And it is so holy, so orchestrated, so drenched in my timing, that not even the delays, detours, or disasters could dismantle what I preserved. And when it hits, when the phone rings, when the door opens, when the tears fall and the breakthrough becomes reality, don't say, "Why now?" Say, "Of course now." Because this was always the plan. This was always the hour. I wrote it before time began. And I've preserved the best just for you. Now, my beloved, I must tell you the origin of the secret I've been unfolding. The secret that's reshaping how you see yourself, how you walk, how you believe. The secret wasn't written with him. It wasn't whispered casually across heaven's corridors. It was sealed with fire, forged in the flame of my holiness, tempered by the heat of my own glory. It's not just a nice word. It's a dangerous truth, a fierce promise, a revelation that the enemy feared you would discover. That's why the attacks came. That's why the warfare increased. Because once the secret awakened in you, once you knew who you were, whose you were, and what I've planted in your spirit, hell could no longer manipulate your identity. The secret was never meant to be cute. It was meant to be consecrated. Let me take you back, far back, before your first heartbreak, before your first betrayal, before your first breath. In the eternal realm, I spoke over you with the language of flame. I didn't just assign you purpose. I branded you with it. I wrote your days with fire. I marked you with mission. I surrounded your destiny with angelic guardrails so that even when you strayed, the fire still burned in the distance, calling you back, lighting the way home. And when you wondered why certain sins didn't satisfy you, why rebellion never fully stuck, why you couldn't numb yourself completely, it's because the fire was still alive. The secret was still burning. Even in your lowest places, I refused to let that flame die. And now, it's time for it to blaze. You see, fire does more than warm. It consumes. It purifies. It refines. And the secret I'm telling you now has walked through the furnace. That's why it's heavy. That's why it stirs you so deeply. Because it carries the residue of divine fire. This isn't just information. It's impartation. I'm not just telling you a truth. I'm transferring authority. I'm handing you the key to unlock a version of yourself that hell hoped would never rise. This fire is the answer to your cry for more. It's the substance behind every yes you whispered in the dark. It's the reason your voice will carry weight, your presence will displace darkness, and your legacy will outlive your lifetime. This secret was sealed with fire, and now you carry that fire. So don't apologize for your intensity. Don't tone down the flame to make others comfortable. You did ignite this. I did. And I'm not putting it out. I'm fanning it. I'm breathing on it. I'm calling you to steward it, to speak from it, walk in it, live through it. Because what's been sealed with fire cannot be undone by man. The world didn't give you this, and the world cannot take it. It is heaven's branding, eternity's echo, and now it is awakening in full. The secret is fire, and you, child, you are its carrier. My beloved child, Hear me now with weight and clarity. When the secret unfolds in your life, when the manifestation of what I have whispered over you becomes visible to all, no one will be able to take credit. Neither the critics, nor the well-wishing friends, nor the opportunists who try to hitch themselves to your rise. The reason is simple. I have crafted this season in such a way that only my hand could orchestrate it. The enemies will try to denounce it. The crowd will attempt to rebrand it. But the fingerprint upon this breakthrough is unmistakable, mine alone. I will not let your anointing be hijacked by any human agenda. The glory will rest where it belongs, on me, and your testimony will carry the clarity that only heaven can impart. You have endured seasons of confusion, wondering whether people would see what you carry, whether they would attribute it to the right source. You felt the sting of miscrediting when someone else got praised for what you silently sowed. But those days are ending. The platform I'm preparing for you is built with spiritual architecture, walls that can't be overwritten by worldly narratives. When they look back, they will see the path of obedience, the journey of hidden faith, the nights you prayed while no one watched. And they will understand that this was never about you. It's always been about me working through you. I've designed this unveiling so that no man's mouth can write it. No false accolade can seize it. No shallow explanation can diminish it. The credit will land rightly, and the glory will rest wholly, because that is how I planned it from before time began. I want you to imagine what it will feel like when you walk into a room, and the shift is obvious. When people whisper, "How did this happen?" and you respond with a humble silence, because the answer doesn't come from your lips but from a life saturated in my presence. Let them search behind the curtain, trace every strand, try to assemble the story. But they won't be able to rebuild it. Even their best theories and loudest claims will fall short, because this assignment is not replicable by man. This is a sovereign act, a divine unveiling, a mystery revealed. And when they try to attribute it, your life will quietly insist on the truth. It's my doing, my favor, my fingerprint. So, beloved, don't be tempted to boast. Don't feel you must explain or defend what is unfolding. Let your life hold the tension. Let your posture remain humble. When the breakthrough comes, and it will come, allow people to lean in, to guess, to wonder. But don't hand them your story. Let them chase truth. The results will speak loudly enough without your explanation. And when the credit is settled, it will rest on the only name that matters. Because what is about to be done through you is too sacred to be shared carelessly, too holy to be hijacked by pride, too immense to be limited by human agenda. Let me have every ounce of the praise, because this is my secret, and I will carry its weight, and I will give you its wonder. The glory will not be stolen, child, because I ordained it in my heart, sealed it in my realm, and am now unveiling it in your life. Child, come closer, deeper. I need you to understand one of the most profound truths you will ever carry. You were always the answer, not someone else, not the circumstance, not a plan invented by man. Would you? From the foundation of the world, before time whispered your name, I designed you to be the solution to what you see broken. I wove in your bones capacity they tried to despair. I embedded in your spirit resolve they could not imagine. When you look in the mirror, don't see a survivor of storms. See the deliverer rising. Don't see someone who needed rescue. See the rescue arriving through you. You are not the wounded who waited for a savior. You are the one the kingdom sends. You were always the answer, and now you will step into that role. You thought you were waiting for helm, but I was waiting for you to awaken. Waken to purpose, waken to presence, waken to possibility. You asked me to send breakthrough. You begged for a shift. But I've been saying, step into who you already are. Let me remind you, the gifts, the visions, the passions, the dreams, they were never external add-ons. They were codes written into your DNA long before you inherited your body. That calling you ran from, the dream you buried, the voice you silenced, I placed them within you for such a time as this. This is the hour you stop asking for answers outside and begin walking out the answer inside. The world is ready, but the world is not the one who will reveal you. You will, through me. Let me show you how this will work. When they ask for wisdom, you will shepherd it. When they call for healing, you will mediate it. When they demand courage, you will deliver it. Because the brokenness you've borne, the wilderness you've walked, the silence you've endured, they formed your capacity. The prayers you prayed when no one heard, they became your authority. The cracks in your heart, they became portals for my glory to seep through you to others. You are not a leftover of pain. You are the beacon rising from it. You are not a casualty of suffering. You are the champion of breakthrough. You've been shaped for this. You've been wounded for this. You've been tempered for this. Because I destined you to be the answer. So don't apologize for your miracles. Don't doubt your voice. Don't shrink back in fear that you're not enough. You were always the answer, and now I'm activating that in every corner of your life. Those who have felt powerless will see proof. Those who have cried unanswered prayers will find resolution. Those who have waited on their breakthrough will meet it in you. And when they ask who solved it, who shifted it, who delivered it, you will bow before me, whisper, it was him. Because the answer never came from you, but through you. And heaven will shout it. The earth will hear it. The spiritual realm will nod, and all things will align to the sound of your yes. You were always the answer, and now the answer walks. My beloved, brace your spirit, because I'm about to do something through you so sudden, so radical, so unexpected, that many will be stunned. They will lean in and ask, how did this happen so fast? But do not fear this shock. Embrace it. Understand that the element of surprise is part of my strategy. I do not operate like the predictable systems of men. I am God of suddenlies, God of shifts, God of change that outruns explanation. The unveiling I'm about to release will astonish many, not because it's flashy, but because it carries weight. The ones who counted you out will stare. The skeptics will stutter. The critics will try to reframe it. But their astonishment is validating. Their shock is the echo of heaven's hand moving. What I'm about to do will shock people, but for those who have walked with me in hidden places, it will feel like home. You have prayed for transformation. You've asked for breakthrough. But sometimes, you were tempted to think it would come in steps, gradually, predictably. But not this time. This is not the slow, incremental shift you expected. This is a thunderbolt. Because the secret I've been holding in reserve is potent. It cannot be delivered in stages. It must land fully. And I will orchestrate circumstances, align resources, reorder seasons, then timelines so that the shift gives no room for argument. The skeptics will come with theories. The naysayers will scramble to assign credit. But the residue of what happens will carry my signature. Your life will become a living announcement, a shockwave that opens eyes, resets expectations, and demands acknowledgement. Let them be shocked. Let them wonder. You're not surprised. You've been ready. But know this, shock is not the goal. Revelation is. The shock will give way to understanding. The astonishment will give way to alignment. The question how will fade before the answer why. And the why will always be me, your father, doing what only I can do, breaking out of hidden realms into visible territory through you. The ones who doubted will learn to listen. The ones who overlooked you will begin to watch. And the one who whispered your name in secret will be the one they speak about in open praise. What I am about to do will shock people, not to boast, but to magnify me, and to usher you into your destiny with boldness and weight. You were made for this moment. You were prepared for this shock. And now I will move. So don't balk when it startles. Don't question when it seems sudden. Hold fast to me. Keep your heart anchored. Don't allow fear or pride to distort the miracle. Stand in wonder. Stand in worship. Stand in what you know is larger than you. Because what I do next will not just turn heads, it will turn tides. And the shock will become the testimony. The astonishment will become the harvest. And your life, once silent, will be spoken of in halls it never could have entered before. What I am about to do will shock people. But to you, it will reveal what I always intended. I need to revisit something extremely vital, a truth I want you to carry into every shift that's coming. No one will be able to take credit. This isn't redundancy. This is a divine guardrail, a boundary I place around your revelation so that pride, misattribution, or manipulation cannot touch it. The deeper I take you in this season, the more attempts will come to rewrite your story. The more voices will try to claim your anointing. The more eyes will try to trace routes. But I have sealed what is coming with my fingerprint so strongly that no human theory, no loud narrative, no plagiarist spirit can rewrite it. The vindication you crave, the recognition you feel is overdue. It will come, but it will come in such a way that the credit must rest where it belongs, on me. Hear me now. When the breakthrough bursts forth, people will scramble. They will try to trace back, find the human collaborator, attribute it to systems or a movement or a connection. But because I have chosen to work through you in virtue rather than visibility, those attempts will fail. They will seem plausible until they are tested, and then they crumble. And no one can reconstruct this, because the pattern, the alignment, the synergy, and the spoken word behind it were all divine. This is not me protecting you from criticism. This is me protecting what I'm doing through you. Because your life is not just your story, it's my stage, my platform, my message. And I will not let its integrity be compromised by miscrediting or misinterpretation. You may have tasted what it feels like to have someone else given credit for your labor. You may have even doubted your place. But this time, the unveiling is too pure, the plan too immaculate, the division lines too distinct for any earthly voice to overshadow what I have spoken. This season will force an awakening around you to the fact that what happens in the spiritual realm cannot be fully understood or claimed by human logic. The result will be undeniable. The shift so clear that no plausible alternative explanation holds up under scrutiny. Because I will make it unmistakable. The glory will not be obscured by clones or frauds. The testimony will not be co-opted. The credit will land squarely, irrevocably, where my hand authored it. And when they ask, how did this happen? You'll breathe, and let your life point them to the one who spoke. So guard your posture. Guard your humility. Don't chase validation. Don't explain. Don't reform. Stand still in the awesomeness of what I have done. Let the results unveil themselves. Let the fruit articulate what your mouth cannot yet explain. Let your silence protect the sacred until the right time for revelation. Because what is about to be made known cannot be miscredited. And those who try will only reveal their blindness. The integrity of this season demands that no one be able to take credit, because this is my move, through you, for my glory, for the world to see that I am God. And that is how it will be. My beloved child, hear me now. I am swinging wide doors in your life that you never even dared to dream. Doors you never knocked on, doors you felt unprepared to enter, doors you believed were improbable. They are now opening. Yes, I've been rearranging your atmosphere behind the scenes. I've been repositioning key alliances, aligning divine connections, sidestepping obstacles, and pulling down barriers that were never meant to contain your destiny. What you thought was an impossibility is becoming your doorway. The halls you believed unreachable will echo your steps. The rooms you thought belonged to others will welcome your presence. You will walk through thresholds you didn't craft, with favor you didn't earn, because this is my doing, not your striving. I know you've waited at doors, peered through windows, and hoped for one key to turn in a lock that always seemed to stay rigid. Maybe you felt frustration. Maybe you blamed delay. Maybe you thought the moment had passed. But now the doors are opening, not because of your timing, but because I declare it. These openings will not be gradual trickles either. They will come in waves, in seasons of acceleration, in moments where the shift happens so fast your spirit stumbles to catch up. And that's what I love best, that you won't be able to trace all the steps that led you here. Because the opening is so supernatural, so outside the blueprint of your plans, that you know immediately heaven engineered it. Imagine this. One day you're standing at the threshold, feeling small, feeling unworthy, thinking you have to petition, compete, struggle. And the next breath, I carry you through. The door doesn't wait for your qualifications. It waits for me to intervene. So don't be surprised when access is granted without application, when invitations come without you having to hustle, when favor lands in your lap and advantage seeks you. Because that's what's happening. I'm not just opening doors, I'm creating new ones. And some of them you never even saw existed. That's the mystery of sovereignty. That's your portion in this hour. The pathways you walked, the walls you faced, the rejections you absorbed. They were all preparatory phases to make space for doors you never knocked on. But listen, stepping through those doors will require faith. They will ask something of you. They will ask you to trust what you cannot fully see yet, to walk in even when the doorway doesn't look safe, to carry the integrity you've built while others try to drag you into shortcuts. These doors are not open for you to exploit. They are open for you to steward. They're gifts, not guarantee. So don't sprint past reverence. Don't barter your soul because of access. Walk in humility, walk in courage, walk in awareness that the hand that opened the door is the same hand that will guide you through it. Let this be your posture. I'm not stepping through because I pushed it open. I'm stepping through because my Father did it for me. These are the doors you never knocked on, but now that they swing open, walk through them with confidence, not because you deserved them, but because I decreed them. Beloved, as these doors swing open and the hidden secret begins to manifest, the next chapter cannot be the same you wearing yesterday's skin. The secret I'm releasing demands a new you. Not a cosmetic makeover, but a transformation at the core of your soul. The old mindsets, old habits, half-hearted commitments, fear-bound identity, these must fall away, so the new you can carry what I'm releasing. This next chapter will not tolerate lesser levels of courage, purity, vision, or surrender. What's coming is too sacred for tarnished vessels. And so I call you now. Shed the old. Lay down the weight you weren't meant to carry. Let me remold you, reshape you, resurrect you for what's ahead. This is why many resist revelation, because revelation changes. When truth lands, the shadow version of you can't remain. you'll feel the invitation to let go, to move forward, to sever ties with things that felt safe but were secretly stunting you. It won't always be easy. There will be loss. There will be tension. Some doors will close. Some relationships may transition out. Some dreams will be canceled. Not because I revoked them, but because in the glory of what's coming, they no longer fit. Think of the caterpillar. It doesn't negotiate with the cocoon. It allows itself to be liquefied, completely reconfigured into butterfly. So I'm calling you to that mystery right now. You must be willing to dissolve in my hands so you can be rebuilt for the destiny I've written for you. And I will not leave you alone in that renewal. I will lead. I will guide. I will comfort. I will inject revelation into your bones. You will feel my voice in wild places, my presence in silent moments. The fire will refine what remains. And when you emerge, you won't just be new. You'll be aligned. You walk in greater purpose, greater authority. You'll speak with boldness you didn't know you had. You'll listen with discernment. You'll move with divine strategy. You'll carry resurrected dreams that honor the secret I revealed. But you must be willing to accept the process. You must trust that the death of the old is the birthing of the new. You must permit me to rewrite your identity so you become what only I could envision for you. So I command your spirit, say yes. Say yes to the transformation. Say yes to the pruning. Say yes to the refining. Say yes to letting go of the familiar for the sake of the magnificent. The new you is not a future hope. It's your nearest reality. As the secret unfolds, you will not just come into new territory. You will be the new you who thrives in it. Don't resist. Don't shrink. Don't fear what's being undone. Because what's rising in you now is more glorious than anything you're losing. The next chapter requires a new you, and I am here, in every moment, remaking you from the inside out to carry the fullness of what I've promised. My beloved child, come close and feel the stir in your spirit. Something deeper is happening now. I'm not just revealing a secret. I'm refining your capacity to discern. The next season demands sight, spiritual sight sharper than ever before. Not naive optimism, but holy clarity. You will see what others miss. You will hear what remains whispered in the wind. The enemy will try to confuse you, to distract you, to blur the lines, but I'm sharpening your internal compass. What felt like confusion before will become clarity. What felt like opposition will reveal allegiance. What sounded like noise will now separate into voices you can distinguish. Yes, your discernment is being sharpened. In the hidden places, I began this work. In the nights you could not name your fears, I was carving vision. In the days of testing, I placed decisions in your path to teach you thresholds. You didn't always recognize it, but with every crossroad, every fork, every invitation, your spirit was gaining sensitivity to my voice. Now you enter the season where that sensitivity is no longer optional. It's essential. Because the secret I revealed carries layers. It's multidimensional. It requires you to navigate with spiritual instinct, not just natural reasoning. Doors will look good. Opportunities will appear legitimate. But not all that glitters is mine. Not all open doors lead to my path. Some are traps. Some are distractions. Some are counterfeit. And you must walk with eyes wide open, choosing not what's easiest, but what's right. Don't be surprised when you begin to wrestle with inward tension over proposals, invitations, alignments. That tension is not fear, it's your discernment waking up. It's my spirit warning you, cautioning you. Don't silence it to accommodate approval. Don't override it for momentum. Let it become your guardrail. Let it be the somar I give your spirit. If something doesn't line up, speak 'em. If something doesn't feel holy, decline quietly. If the cost is too high, trust the still, small whisper more than the applause. Because the secret I've given you will demand posture more than permission. It will require that you act from a place of vision, not from a place of impulse. And your discernment will protect you from detours, from deception, from delay. So lean in. Cultivate silence. Let my words steep in your bones. Let my presence become the measure of your yes or no. Don't lean on wisdom borrowed from others. Don't outsource your conviction. This is your season to see what is hidden, to interpret what others misread, to navigate by my spirit, and to move with confidence even when the path is unfamiliar. Because you will not walk blindly. You will walk wise. The sharpening is not over. The edges are still being refined. But your sight is rising. And with it, your steps will be precise. Your voice will be authoritative. Your direction unwavering. Your discernment is being sharpened. And in that sharpened clarity, you will carry the secret with wisdom, power, and unshakable revelation. Now that your discernment is rising, listen with your spirit, not just your ears. I place this moment here, not by accident, but by design. I am inviting you to sow into the very word that sharpened your soul. When you give, you don't just support a voice, you sustain a vessel I'm using to awaken hearts around the world. This is kingdom soil. Every super thanks, membership, or donation through PayPal is a drop of oil that keeps the lamps burning, that fans the fire in dark places. Proverbs 11:25, the generous will prosper. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. I'm whispering to you now. This is holy ground. Partner with me in this move. Click the link in the description and plant your seed where revival flows. Beloved, hear this in your bones. I'm releasing acceleration on your steps. Not because of pressure, but because of promise. Not because of desperation, but because your season has arrived. I'm about to shift your pace. What used to take years will now take months. What used to take months will now take weeks. What used to take weeks will now take days. I'm not relocating you. I'm retiming you. The secret I revealed will not linger in slow motion. It was never meant to be protracted in delay. I am calling you to move like the wind, to shift with purpose, to sprint with confidence. Obstacles will fall. Delays will collapse. Resistance will retreat. Because my acceleration is not about pushing. It's about releasing what I have been building and letting it spring forth at the appointed hour. You've run the race with weariness. You've carried burdens too heavy to bear. You've waited long enough to know the difference between quiet faith and faint hope. But now I say, don't step back. Step up. Don't walk, run. Because what's coming doesn't have room for hesitation. I'm awarding speed to your obedience. I'm calibrating momentum to your surrendered posture. Every alignment, every connection, every open door will be energized by divine acceleration. The assignments I whispered in your heart, the dreams you thought were stalling, they will start moving. And as they do, you will wonder why everything seems to speed up. But you will know. Because it's not the world catching up. It's heaven released through you. But acceleration doesn't mean recklessness. It doesn't mean bypassing preparation. I am not asking you to launch before you're ready. I'm asking you to step when I tell you to. I'm asking you to walk in rhythm with my spirit. This acceleration comes with balance, with wisdom, with awareness. Don't sprint before you're aligned. Don't run ahead of revelation. Let your pace be disciplined, steady, yet wholly swift. Let your posture remain humble. Let your heart remain tethered to me. Because the faster you go, the more magnitude you carry. And you cannot afford to wander off the assignment in haste. Acceleration with integrity will mark you. Acceleration without identity will destroy you. So lean into me. Let me guide your stride. Let me amplify your steps. And watch how the world seems to shift around you. What felt like barriers will become guide boosts. What felt like delays will become displays. What felt like stagnation will become launch pads. Doors will fling open. Favor will settle. Resources will converge. But you will move with clarity, sovereignty, and wonder. Because I am placing acceleration on your steps, not because of what you've done in the natural, but because of what I've ordained in the spiritual. The secret you carry is not late. It's about to be displayed. And I say to you, walk swiftly, walk steady, walk in alignment. Your season is accelerating. I must stir your spirit now. Expect sudden movements. Not just gradual progress or linear climbs, but abrupt, powerful shifts that defy explanation. The secret I revealed will not always trickle in. It will sometimes crash in like a wave. There will be moments when what seemed stuck for years suddenly spins, pivots, and steps into alignment in a single breath. The invitation I have for you is to be ready when the sudden comes, to hold no fear when the abrupt shows itself, to trust that the unexplainable is my hand in motion. This is part of the unveiling. What was once slow is becoming swift. What was delayed is becoming immediate. What could have taken decades is condensing into days. Don't be surprised when things change overnight. Don't dismiss when a door that was shut falls open without warning. Don't reject a shift because it doesn't match your plan. I will surprise you. I will splinter expectations. I will reorder courses in a moment. The enemy has tried to lull you into waiting for a process. But I am saying to you now, this moment is different. The secret is shifting you into new seasons, and those seasons don't always wait for the pace of man. Some steps must be sudden. Some alignments must break open without justification. And it will feel bewildering to some. But to your spirit, it will feel inevitable. When that movement comes, lean into it. Don't resist because it's faster than expected. Don't hesitate because it's not fully explained. You were made for these sudden things. You were carved from eternity so that when the moment breaks, you will not fracture beneath it. You will rise through it. A sudden movement will connect dots you didn't see. It will deliver fruit where you had believed fields were barren. You will validate promises that looked forgotten. And in the velocity, you will see how patient I was with your timing. Because what I held back was only because I was orchestrating your launch. Let your spirit be ready. Let your faith stay elevated. Expect sudden movements. And be ready to walk through them with boldness, sovereignty, and unwavering trust. I need to say this clearly, prophetically, with the weight of heaven behind it. You don't need validation for what I'm about to do. You don't need people's approval. You don't need whispers of affirmation from those who didn't see you in the night. You don't need applause for what I will speak, reveal, or release through your life. Because this is not about you earning acknowledgement from man. It's about me fulfilling my word through you. When the miracle shows, when the favor lands, when doors open, know in your core that your worth, your calling, your identity is not validated by applause. It was validated long ago, before Earth's voices could weigh in. I have watched you fight silent battles, wrestle unseen grief, carry secret burdens. And in those moments, you did not need to prove yourself. You did not need anyone to reassure you. You walked by trust. You whispered my name. You kept faith alive even when nothing else made sense. and that is the place from which this new move will birth. So when the world leans in and asks, who made this happen? How did you get this? Don't scramble for explanation. Let your life own the testimony. Let the fruit speak. Let the radiance of my presence validate what human lips cannot. When they seek to measure your significance by their standard, you lean into the standard I placed on your spirit long before their voices existed. You see, child, the greatest victories are often the ones you cannot publicize. The most sacred breakthroughs are sometimes the ones you must steward before they become public. And what I'm about to work in your life, the secret unraveling, the destiny shifting, it doesn't require them to approve you to move. You already carry the authority. You already walked the path of hidden surrender. You already passed what wasn't announced. So you don't need validation. You simply need obedience. You simply need to hold fast to my voice. You simply need to step when I say step. Let the naysayers watch. Let the critics scoff. Let the silent ones whisper doubts. None of that can shift what I ordain. This is my work. This is my glory. This is my secret, and it doesn't need to be authorized by the world to be powerful. Therefore, stand firm. Walk boldly. Let your heart remain unmoved by applause or rejection. Let your confidence rest in my voice. And when the unveiling comes, as it surely will, don't chase validation. Receive my validation and lie from it. Because you were always known. You were always seen. And the shift you carry is not contingent on human permission. It is anchored in the heaven that called you forth. My precious one, pause for this truth, not just to hear it but to feel it breathe inside you. You are about to walk into rooms built without your name, yet designed for your anointing. I know that for so long you have watched others get called up. Others receive the invitations. Others step onto platforms you believed you were born to occupy. And in that silence, you wondered if I had overlooked you. But child, I don't overlook the ones I've handcrafted. I hide them. I shield them. I protect them from premature exposure so that when the moment comes, when the doors swing and the eyes turn, what emerges is not a person scrambling for purpose, but a soul dripping with divine assignment. The rooms you are about to enter may not bear your name on the walls. They may not have been expecting you. They may not have even thought to look in your direction. But what they do not know, and what you are about to discover, is that your anointing is the exact missing piece those spaces were silently crying for. Not charisma, not popularity, anointing. That divine oil forged through crushing, silence, surrender, and obedience. You carry what cannot be duplicated, cannot be explained, cannot be manufactured. And when you walk into those rooms, the atmosphere will shift, not because of your presence, but because of mine resting upon you. You won't need to announce yourself. Heaven will do it for you. But hear this, your entrance into these rooms is not for show. It is for assignment. It's not about status. It's about stewardship. You are not being sent to impress. You are being sent to impart. The anointing on your life carries deliverance, revelation, healing, strategy. What felt like private encounters in secret places will now become public displays of my glory. Don't shrink. Don't apologize. Don't try to fit into the decorum of the room. Redefine it. Reorder it by the presence you carry. Let them see what it looks like when someone emerges from the wilderness with fire still in their bones. Let them taste the fruit of your survival. Let them encounter me through your voice, your wisdom, your stillness, your authority. And don't be intimidated. I know the room is bigger than you imagined. I know the titles on the name tag seem more qualified, but that's the divine irony. They invited skill, but I'm sending power. They prepared for excellence, but I'm sending glory. Walk in knowing that you were appointed, even when you weren't considered. Walk in knowing the weight you carry is not arrogance, it's assignment. And I will meet you in those rooms. I will fill your mouth. I will steady your hands. I will draw hearts to the table not to see you, but to encounter me through you. You are about to walk into rooms built without your name, but destined for your anointing. And nothing, no jealousy, no gatekeeper, no tradition, will be able to stop what I've ordained. My beloved, come close now, because this is tender, holy ground. And I want you to hear me, not with your ears, but with the places that still ache in silence. I've hidden treasures in your tears, every single tear you've shed, in the night, in silence, in disappointment, in loneliness. Not one has fallen unnoticed. Not one hath been wasted. You may have cried yourself into sleep, but I caught every drop. I've bottled them in eternity. But more than that, I buried treasure in them. Deep within your pain, I planted seeds. Not seeds of bitterness, not seeds of despair, seeds of breakthrough, seeds of revelation, seeds of compassion and power and clarity. And now, those seeds are breaking open. What felt like sorrow was secretly the soil for the secret I'm now unfolding. I want you to remember those moments you thought were too dark to recover from. The betrayal that broke your heart. The delay that made you question your worth. The grief that silenced your voice. The nights you stared at ceilings asking me if I still heard you. I did. And in those exact moments, the ones the world cannot see, the ones you never posted about, I was working. Quietly, faithfully. I was wrapping mysteries inside your mourning. I was embedding wisdom inside your weeping. I was forming strength inside your sorrow. You thought the tears were signs of weakness, but I was forging resilience. You thought they marked you as forgotten, but they marked you as chosen. Chosen to carry what cannot be taught, only lived. And now, I am turning what once hurt into what now heals. I am reactivating the treasure that was hidden beneath the pain. The insights you now carry, born in tears. The authority that drips off your words, baptized in tears. The tenderness you offer others, sculpted by tears. Even your discernment, your capacity to sense what others overlook, that too was formed in weeping. That's why the oil in your life is costly. That's why your words don't just sound good, they pierce. Because they come from a place deeper than performance. They come from the treasure chest of tears you once wanted to forget. And now, child, now you will see why I didn't let you skip the sorrow. It was never cruelty. It was preparation. Holy preparation. So stand in it. Own it. Don't apologize for your story. Don't hide the healing behind polished language. Speak from the deep. Let your tears become testimony. Let your pain become purpose. Let your weeping become warfare. Because the enemy tried to drown you in despair, not knowing that every tear he caused only fertilized your future. And now, the harvest is appearing. And the treasure I hid in you is rising. The weight you carry is not accidental. It's not borrowed. It's not rehearsed. It's sacred. It's real. It's yours. And it came through the tears I never wasted. You cried, but I collected. You mourned, but I matured you. You broke, but I built something beautiful in the wreckage. Now rise. Rise with treasure. Rise with power. Rise with secrets the enemy never saw coming. You carry treasure that tears revealed. My beloved, let me pull you close now, closer than the crowd, closer than the noise, closer than your own insecurities, and say something you've tried to deny even though your spirit has always known it. You have been set apart for this hour. This isn't ego. This isn't imagination. This is divine reality. I separated you, not to isolate you, but to anoint you. I preserved you from battles that would have corrupted your oil. I hid you from platforms that weren't pure. I slowed your pace, not to punish you, but to protect your calling from being exposed to counterfeits before it was time. You have not been overlooked. You've been guarded. And the loneliness you wrestled with, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. There are moments I allowed you to walk paths others avoided. You endured fires that seemed unfair. You loved deeply and were wounded quietly. You were loyal when others were opportunistic. And sometimes you asked me, why is this happening to me when I've only tried to be faithful? But I want you to hear me now. I allowed those separations, those rejections, those delays, because I didn't want them to mark you. I wanted me to mark you. I didn't want you contaminated by the systems and cycles that produce noise but no anointing. I didn't want you elevated by people who would demand your silence in return. So I set you apart. I removed you when others were being celebrated. I held you back while others rushed forward. And I did it not because you weren't ready, but because they weren't ready for what I placed in you. This hour you're stepping into, this divine moment in history, is not random. You were born for it. There is something in you I placed there for now, not 5 years from now. Now, the fire, the discernment, the clarity, the compassion, it was all time for this exact window in time. Others will wonder how you emerged so quickly. They'll call it sudden, but you and I both know it's been anything but sudden. This moment was forged in years of silence, in decades of surrender, in the secret place where your tears became weapons and your wounds became wisdom. They didn't see that part, but I did. And now, I'm releasing you into visibility, not because you need it, but because the world needs what I've formed in you. You were set apart not to impress, but to impact. So walk boldly now, not arrogantly, but assuredly. Walk knowing that when you enter the room, you're not alone. I go before you. Walk knowing that the words I put in your mouth aren't for popularity, they are for destiny. Speak with fire. Love with purity. Lead with reverence. Let your presence announce that something holy has entered the room. And when people ask where you came from, don't explain. Just smile. Because what they are really sensing is not just you. It's me through you. You've been set apart for this hour. And no man, no devil, no delay can change that. The time is now. You are ready. And I, your God, will walk with you every step of the way. My beloved, do you know why the warfare in your life intensified in cycles you couldn't explain? Why it always felt like just when you were about to cross into something meaningful, something always tried to pull you under? That was not your imagination. That was not weakness. That was the enemy's strategy. He saw something you hadn't even seen in yourself yet, your potential to carry glory. He knew that if you survived, if you made it through the pit, the betrayal, the waiting, the weariness, then nothing could stop you from stepping into the fullness of what I've placed inside you. So he threw everything at you: confusion, delay, sickness, financial strain, relationship turmoil, inner battles you couldn't articulate to anyone. He wanted to break you before this moment. But beloved, he failed. Even when you felt like you were breaking, I was building. Even when your heart was shattered and your spirit felt thin, I was not watching from afar. I was rebuilding you in secret. While the world saw silence, I saw structure. While they saw nothing moving, I was laying foundations. I was rewiring the way you think. I was healing childhood wounds that had quietly become anchors. I was pulling out lies that had nested deep in your identity. I was strengthening your bones with truth you couldn't find in books. I was infusing your words with revelation, your prayers with fire, your silence with authority. The world didn't see it. The devil didn't detect it. But I was in the quiet, rebuilding you from the inside out. And now, what was hidden is about to emerge. And here is the beauty of it. Because the enemy could not stop you, he will now fear you. He fears the healed version of you. He fears the anointed version of you. He fears the restored, focused, unshaken version of you. Because you're no longer moved by flattery. You're no longer weakened by loneliness. You're no longer confused by delay. You've learned how to hold your peace in storms. You've learned how to pray in silence. You've learned how to discern atmospheres. You've learned how to stay still when provoked and speak only when I say speak. It's not just growth, that's divine formation. And that formation came not in ease, but in fire, in cutting, in wrestling. And now, you are coming out of hiding. But make no mistake, you are not coming out the same. So don't fear visibility. Don't fear responsibility. Don't fear this moment. Because what you carry is not fragile, it's fortified. What you bring is not shallow, it's sacred. You are not walking into this next chapter as someone trying to prove themselves. You are walking in as someone sent, rebuilt, refined, rooted. And that is what the enemy tried to prevent. But he couldn't. Because I had my hand on you the whole time. When you almost lost your mind, I kept it. When you nearly gave up, I whispered just loud enough. When you questioned your worth, I pointed you to the cross again. I rebuilt you with blood, truth, fire, and love. And now, child, now you are stepping into everything he tried to bury. Let him watch. Let him tremble. Because what he meant for evil, I've turned into oil. And this oil will not just heal you, it will heal others. This anointing is not just for your name, it's for my glory. And the power that flows through you now is born not of platforms, not of applause, but of resurrection. You were supposed to break, but instead, you rose. You rose as a witness. You rose as a warrior. You rose as a voice of heaven. You rose as one rebuilt by the hand of God himself. The enemy tried to break you before this moment, but now you have become the moment. My beloved, lean in. Let me whisper to the deepest place within you. This secret, this mystery, this holy hush I've been unveiling, guiding, whispering through every message. It's time I say it plainly now. The secret was always you. You were the hidden thing I protected. You were the treasure buried in time. You were the assignment sealed in silence. Not just what I would do through you, but who I made you to be. You have spent years looking outward, waiting for signs, longing for clarity, thinking, when will the moment come? But child, you are the moment. The anointing, the strategy, the revelation, the weight, the glory, it's been forming in you all along. And now, it's time to reveal it. You've misunderstood delay as denial. You mistook hiding for punishment. But I was keeping the treasure hidden, not because it wasn't ready, but because the world wasn't. The world wasn't ready for the oil you carry, the wisdom you speak, the love you embody, the authority you walk in. You don't look like what you've walked through, and that's part of the mystery. You weren't supposed to. You were supposed to emerge unexplainable. You were supposed to radiate the kind of glory that makes others pause and ask, where did they come from? And the answer will not be found in your resume. It will be found in your refining. You were forged in fire so that now you could release rain. And the rain is coming. Through you. Because the secret was always you. But here's what I want you to grasp. Being the secret doesn't mean performing. It means becoming. You're not required to strive. You're not called to manufacture. You're simply called to step forward, fully aligned with your identity in me. No masks, and no shrinking, no apologies, just raw obedience laced with fire and mercy. The secret is not just a message, it's a movement, and you are the carrier, the breaker of generational cycles, the voice of restoration, the steward of divine wisdom, the echo of heaven in the earth. That is who you are. That is what you carry. And that is what the enemy fought to destroy. But now, no more hiding. No more waiting for someone else to give you permission. I'm giving it to you now. You have heaven's green light. Oh, to be, will, heal, release, heal. And let this be your final confirmation. You are not late. You are right on time. You are stepping into this not because the world is ready, but because you are. You've passed through crushing, and you carry oil. You've endured silence, and you carry sound. You fought in secret, and you carry strategy. You've wept in the dark, and now you shine in the light. You are not a shadow of someone else's dream. You are the secret heaven wrote long ago, a walking prophecy, a living revival. So I say now rise. Deal. Resound. The secret is you. And the world will now see what I have always known. Now that you know the truth, you're the secret. I'm calling you to do what only those who believe will do. Sow into this revelation so it can awaken others. You are not just watching this. You're part of it. Every gift, every act of support is you declaring, I carry this fire too, and I will not let it go out. This is your altar moment. Pour out what's in your hand, and I will pour out from heaven. Luke 6:38. Give, and it shall be given unto you a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. The oil flowing from this message doesn't stop here. It multiplies through you. So act now. Get the lid below. Give boldly. Give with fire. Give as the one who now knows. You were the secret I was preparing all along. Before you leave this sacred moment, I want you to speak it aloud and seal it in faith. Right now, declare in the comments, I am the secret God is revealing. Let the atmosphere hear you. Let the enemy see it. Let heaven record it. This is not just a comment. It's a prophetic agreement with everything I've spoken over you. And if your spirit is burning with confirmation, write it boldly, because this is your moment of unveiling. You are not hidden anymore, you are rising. And now, as your spirit rises, quiet everything around you. My child, come closer. Hush the noise for just a moment. I have to tell you a secret, one that the world works so hard to make you forget. Lean in and listen with your heart. I see you. I see you at your job, pouring everything you have into your work, hoping for a word of acknowledgement that never comes. I see the knot in your stomach when you feel overlooked, when someone else gets the applause you deserved. In that moment, a whisper comes, doesn't it? A cold, heavy whisper that says you are not enough. You start to believe your value is a number that goes up and down based on your performance, based on the approval of others. That, my beloved, is the great lie. Your worth is not a fragile thing that can be handed to you or taken away by human hands. I am the one who established your value, and I have never once changed my mind. Pause for a second. Breathe. I want you to feel this. Before the mountains were formed, before the oceans knew their boundaries, I knew you. And when I spoke this world into being and breathed life into you, I looked at you and I declared, "You are very good." This wasn't a compliment on what you could do. It was a declaration of who you are. That truth is more real than the air in your lungs, more permanent than the stars in the sky. It does not fade with your failures, nor does it brighten with your successes. It simply is. Are you wondering what you are truly worth to me? Look at the cross, but with the price tag. I did not watch from a distance as my son paid that price. Every moment was an expression of my measureless love for you. That was not a transaction for a flawless being. It was a rescue mission for the one I cherish. Do you understand? Your significance is not up for debate. It is not negotiable. In the courts of heaven, your value is an eternal, unchanging fact, sealed by the highest price ever paid. I see the moments you feel like a burden to others. You carry that silent fear of being too much, of your needs being an inconvenience. Let me shatter that illusion for you right now. You are not a burden to me. You are a treasure. You are the one I choose to carry, the one whose name is written on my hands. The judgments of people, their fleeting opinions and their conditional acceptance, they are powerless. They cannot veto the infinite, unbreakable worth I have placed upon you. Their words are like echoes in a valley, but my word is the mountain itself. You are mine. You are priceless. And that is the secret I need you to carry in your heart, today and for all eternity. My beloved, I must tell you about the moment before your moments began. You sometimes feel like an accident, don't you? A random collection of cells, a product of chance, your life a footnote in a story you didn't choose. You look at others and see their clear paths, their obvious talents, and you wonder if you were an afterthought. Let me silence that lie with a secret whispered in the halls of heaven before time was born. Before your mother and father ever met, I spoke your name. It was not a whisper lost in the cosmos. It was a declaration, a song that echoed in eternity. You were not a possibility, you were a promise I made to the world. I want you to understand something vital. When I formed you, I did not just assemble you from dust. I infuse your spirit with a divine spark, a unique ember of my own light that no other soul in history possesses. It is in the specific way you laugh until you cry. It is in the quiet strength you show when no one is watching. It is in the particular way your heart breaks for the hurting. It is in the questions you ask in the middle of the night. Do not look at another and wish for their gifts, for you would be trading away the very essence of the miracle that is you. You were intentionally, meticulously, and wonderfully made. You search for your purpose, thinking it is a single, grand destination you must find or else you have failed. This is not my way. The purpose I dreamt for you is not a rigid map but a dance, perfectly suited to the rhythm of your own heart. It is woven into your design. The things that bring you alive, the passions that stir your soul, the burdens that you feel compelled to carry, these are not random. They are clues I have planted within you, pointing you toward the life you were made to live. And at the center of that purpose is the simplest, most profound secret of all. You were created for a deep, personal relationship with me. You were not made to just be my servant, but my friend, my child. Every other part of your purpose flows from this sacred connection, this ongoing conversation we are having right now. And know this, I did not create you to be fragile. I did not design you to shatter at the first sign of trouble. I embedded resilience deep within your being. Think back to the time you were certain you would break. The moment you thought with the end. Do you remember how you found the strength to take one more breath, to face one more day? That was not your own power, my child. That was my strength rising within you. That was the resilience I wove into your very fabric. My first thought of you was not one of criticism or expectation. My first thought of you was pure, unadulterated joy. You were my beloved then. You are my beloved now, and nothing will ever change that. Now, let's talk about the chaos, the constant change that leaves you feeling dizzy and unstable. A friendship ends. A job is lost. Your health is uncertain. The world feels like it is spinning out of control. You grasp for something solid, something that will hold. My child, here is the secret. I am that solid ground. I am the constant in your life when everything else is in flux. My presence is not an abstract idea. It is the most real thing about your existence. It is the anchor for your soul in the middle of the raging sea. You worry when you pray and only hear silence. You think I have left, that your pleas are echoing in an empty room. But I want to tell you the secret of my silence. In your deepest quiet, when the noise of the world and even the noise of your own panic finally fades, that is where my spirit communes most deeply with yours. My silence is not an absence, it is an invitation. It is a space where you can learn to feel my presence beyond words, to know I am with you in a way that is deeper than any answer you could receive. You are never, ever truly alone. My presence is your permanent dwelling place, your true home where you always belong. You have been taught to see me as a distant God, a king on a faraway throne. I'm concerned with the small details of your life. Let me correct that for you. I'm intimately acquainted with all your ways. I know the song that is stuck in your head. I know the specific anxiety you feel about your child's future. I feel the unspoken tension between you and your loved one. My guidance is not always a loud shout from heaven. More often, it is a gentle, persistent nudge. It is that sudden, unexplainable peace in a moment of panic. It is the scripture that seems to leap off the page and speak directly to your situation. It is that unexpected gut feeling telling you which way to turn. That is me, whispering to your spirit, guiding you step by step. And what about those times when you cannot feel me at all? Those seasons of dryness when your heart feels numb and your faith feels like a distant memory. This is perhaps the most important secret of all. I am actively working in your life even when you cannot feel me. My presence and my work are not dependent on your emotions. The sun is still blazing with heat and light even on the most overcast day. In the same way, I am still holding your world together, fighting battles you cannot see, and orchestrating details for your good, even when the clouds of doubt and weariness hide my face from you. My presence is not a feeling to be chased, but a reality to be trusted. Rest in that truth. I know you have wounds. I see the scars on your heart, the places where life has been cruel and people have been careless. You look at these broken parts of your story and you feel shame. You feel regret. You feel that they have disqualified you. But I must tell you a profound secret. Your deepest wounds can become the source of your greatest strength. The place of your most intense pain can become the soil for your most beautiful growth. You are asking why? Why did you let this happen? Hear me clearly, my child. I do not cause your suffering. I do not send the abuse, the sickness, the betrayal. I weep with you in it. But this is my solid promise. I will not waste it. I will take what was meant for evil, and I will redeem it for an incredible good. You feel like these trials are breaking you, but through them, I am forging in you a character of unshakable faith. It's in the long, agonizing wait for an answer that you learn true patience. It's in feeling the sting of your own pain that your heart learns a deeper compassion for others. It's when your own strength has completely failed that you discover my strength is all you ever needed. You are like steel being tempered in the fire. The heat is intense, but the result is a strength and purity that could not be achieved any other way. And your story, the one you are so tempted to hide, a story of overcoming, will become a beacon of hope for others. The very struggle that you are ashamed of today will one day be the lifeline for someone else who is drowning in that same sea. They will see your scars and know they can survive too. Your testimony of my faithfulness in your darkest hour will be more powerful than 1,000 sermons. This is a sacred secret. Pain has a purpose. Its ultimate purpose is to draw you closer to me, your ultimate healer. It strips away the illusion that you are in control and makes you reach for a hand far greater than your own. It's in the desperation of the midnight hour that you learn to call my name with a new sincerity. Do not think for a moment that your sorrow is unnoticed. Every tear you cried I collect. They are precious to me. None of your pain is wasted. Every moment of anguish is recorded. Every silent sob is heard. I am the great artist, and I am taking the shattered pieces of your heart, the dark and painful colors of your experience, and I am weaving them into a masterpiece of grace. One day, you will look back and see not the random chaos of suffering, but a beautiful tapestry that tells the story of redemption, strength, and my unfailing love for you. My precious one, I hear you when you say, I can't do this. I am not strong enough. You look at the demands of your life, the giants in your path, and you feel utterly small and inadequate. The secret I need you to know, deep in your bones, is that you carry more fortitude than you realize. Why? Because my spirit, the very spirit of the living God, resides in you. Your strength is not your own. It is mine, flowing through you. You are not just a human trying your best. You are a child of the Most High, filled with divine power, an ability to persevere, to get up one more time after being knocked down. You think it's something you have to create from nothing, but it is a gift I have already given you. It is a wellspring deep inside you, and your job is not to dig the well, but simply to draw from it. When you feel you have nothing left, reach down in faith and you will find my strength is there, waiting for you. This is why your weaknesses are so important. You try so hard to hide them, to pretend they don't exist. But your weaknesses are the secret opportunities for my power to be displayed most brilliantly. That anxiety that you battle, that impatience you confess, that fear you cannot seem to shake, when you bring those to me and depend on me in the midst of them, my strength shines through your cracks. People will see it is not you, but me in you, and I will get the glory. Listen to me. You have been equipped. I would not allow you to face a trial for which I have not already provided the means of escape or endurance. You feel unequipped, but you have been given a spiritual arsenal. You have my word, which is a sword. You have faith, which is a shield. You have prayer, which is your direct line to the command center of the universe. You are not defenseless. The battle is to believe you have what I have already given you, and to start using it. And let us be clear about courage. You think courage is the absence of fear. It is not. Courage is not being fearless. Courage is acting despite the fear, because you are holding on to my hand. Courage is making that difficult phone call when your stomach is in knots. Courage is choosing to forgive when your heart is screaming for revenge. Courage is showing up for one more day when you want to hide from the world. Every time you take a small step of faith in the face of fear, you are demonstrating the highest form of courage. And remember the ultimate secret of your strength. The same power that defied the grave, that rolled the stone away, that raised Christ from the dead, that very power is alive and active in you right now. Now, walk in that strength. I have just laid the very foundation of who you are in my eyes. To turn away now is to treat these sacred, foundational truths as common things. Do not grieve my heart by walking away before I show you how to build your life upon this reality. Stay, let me show you what my love truly means. My child, of all the secrets I share with you, this is the most foundational. If you can grasp this, everything else will fall into place. The world has taught you a broken version of love. It has taught you that love is something you must earn through your actions, your looks, your success. It has taught you that love is conditional, that it can be withdrawn if you fail to meet expectations. That is man's love. It is not mine. Here is the secret of my love. It is not based on your performance. It is based entirely on my character. It is unconditional. Let this sink deep into your spirit. There is absolutely nothing you can do to make me love you more, and there is absolutely nothing you can do to make me love you less. On the day you are patient and kind, when you serve others and speak my truth, I am overflowing with a father's pride. But my amount of love for you does not increase. And on the day you fail spectacularly, when you are selfish and sharp-tongued, when you turn your back on me in anger or shame, in that moment, my love for you does not decrease one single degree. I love you at your darkest moment just as much as I love you at your best. My love is not a reaction to you. It is a relentless, initiating force that flows from the very core of who I am. You define yourself by your past, by the mistakes you have made, by the labels others have put on you. When I look at you, I do not see that. The secret is that I see your potential, not just your past. I see the person I created you to be. I see the finished masterpiece, even while the clay is still being shaped on the wheel. Others may judge your history, but I am investing in your destiny. I see the strength you do not yet see in yourself. I see the compassion that will grow from your healed wounds. I see the leader, the healer, the encourager I am calling you to become. So when you feel unlovable, when the voice of shame whispers that you have finally gone too far, you must counter it with this secret truth. My affection for you is not a fleeting emotion. It is an eternal covenant. I have bound myself to you. You are eternally and irrevocably mine. Think of a name carved deeply into stone. Time cannot erase it. The storms cannot wash it away. Your name is carved upon my hands. Your life is hidden safely with Christ in me. Nothing, not death, not life, not angels or demons, not your fears for today or your worries about tomorrow, not even the powers of hell, can separate you from my love. You are mine. Drevu. Rest in this unbreakable, everlasting bond. I see the panic in your heart when your world begins to shake. The unexpected bill arrives in the mail, and suddenly your carefully planned budget is in ruins. The doctor calls with a solemn tone, and the floor disappears from beneath you. An argument erupts out of nowhere, leaving your home filled with a tense, fragile silence. You look at the news and see a world groaning in turmoil, and it all feels like a series of random, painful events spinning wildly out of control. You cry out, "Where are you in this?" My beloved child, the secret you must grasp is that what appears as chaos to you is a canvas upon which I am painting a masterpiece. You see only the dark, confusing strokes being laid down, and they make no sense. But I see the finished picture. Every stroke, even the ones that feel painful, is necessary for the beauty that is to come. I am the calm at the center of every storm you will ever face. I want you to picture the eye of a great hurricane. All around it, winds howl with destructive force, But in the very center, there is a place of profound and eerie stillness. When the storms of your life are raging, you can access that place of stillness. That is me. That phone call that made your world stop spinning. It did not make mine stop. I was not taken by surprise. I was there in the moment before the phone rang, already arranging the grace you would need to endure the news. I was there in the silence after you hung up, holding you when you could not feel me. Nothing in your life or in this world takes me by surprise. I am not reacting to the chaos. I am reigning over it. You feel that your life is shattered into a million pieces, like a precious vase dropped on a stone floor. You see only the sharp, useless fragments of your hopes and dreams. But here is another secret. I hold all the scattered pieces of your life in my hands. Not a single piece is lost. Not one tear, not one disappointment, not one broken promise is forgotten. You see ruin, but I see the raw materials for a glorious mosaic. I am the artist who specializes in taking what is broken and creating something new, something more intricate and beautiful than the original. That failure that shames you, I will use it to teach you a humility that will open doors you never imagined. That heartbreak that you think has destroyed you, I will use it to give you a capacity for compassion that will heal others. My ultimate plan for goodness will triumph over any present disorder. This is not wishful thinking. It is a divine guarantee. The darkness does not win. The chaos does not have the final say. I do. So, how do you find peace in the middle of it all? The secret is this. Trusting my sovereignty is the key that unlocks the door. It is not a passive feeling. It is a conscious, courageous choice. It is standing in the wreckage with tears in your eyes and whispering, I do not understand this, God, but I trust you. It is the act of releasing your desperate need to have all the answers and, instead, resting in the arms of the one who is the answer. Hand me the pieces, my child. Stop trying to glue them back together yourself. Trust me with the process, and I will show you a beauty you could never have conceived. Listen to me now, my child, for this is a secret that can heal the deepest places of your soul. You have this image of me as a stern, demanding judge, keeping a tally of your every mistake, perpetually disappointed in you. You live under a cloud of trying to be good enough, and you always feel you are falling short. You think you only matter to me when you are doing something for me, when you are serving, or praying, or succeeding. I want to shatter that false image with the truth of my heart. The secret is that I take an immense, overflowing delight in watching you simply become the person I created you to be. My love for you is not a reluctant duty. It is a father's boundless joy. You think your small, hidden acts of faith go unnoticed. When you are sitting in traffic and you choose to whisper a prayer instead of cursing in frustration. When a coworker is rude, and you choose to respond with a quiet kindness they did not deserve. When you see the beauty in a sunset and a simple thank you forms in your heart. You may think these moments are nothing, but I tell you a secret, they cause a celebration in heaven. The angels pause. All of creation takes note. Because an act of pure, unadulterated love has echoed from the earth, and it is the sweetest music to my ears. These simple things bring me more delight than the grandest cathedral ever built. Here is a truth that may be difficult for you to absorb. I do not just love you. I genuinely like you. I enjoy you. I enjoy the unique way your mind works, the specific quirks of your personality. I enjoy your sense of humor, even when it is silly. I enjoy hearing you talk about the things you are passionate about. You see yourself as a project that needs fixing, a list of flaws to be corrected. I see you as my beloved child, whose company I cherish. When you set aside time to just be with me, not with a long list of requests, but just to sit in my presence. It is the highlight of my eternal day. When you call my name, it does not come to me as the petition of a subject to a king. It comes to me as the voice of my child, and a father's joy rises in my heart. Even when your voice is thick with tears, even when it is a cry of anger or confusion, I rejoice that you have turned to me. You have remembered me. You have sought me. The scriptures say I rejoice over you with singing, and this is no mere poetry. There are moments when you are sleeping, completely unaware, that I quiet all the noise of the universe and I sing a song of pure delight over you. A song of love for the one I created, the one I redeemed, the one I call my own. Your existence, in and of itself, is one of my greatest joys. Let that secret sink in. Not what you do, not what you accomplish. The simple, beautiful fact that you exist brings joy to the heart of your God. You are frustrated, aren't you? You cry out, God, speak to me. And you expect a booming voice from the clouds, an undeniable sign. When it does not come, you feel unheard, disconnected, and you begin to doubt if I am speaking at all. The secret I want you to learn is that I am always speaking, but you have been taught to listen for only one channel. I speak in more ways than you expect. Yes, sometimes it is a profound sense of peace during prayer. But I also speak through the consistent theme you keep seeing in the scriptures. I speak in the beauty of nature that suddenly stills your anxious heart. I speak through the wise and timely counsel of a trusted friend who has no idea their words are my message to you. I speak in that persistent, gentle thought that you cannot shake, the one that urges you toward kindness or courage. Open your eyes and ears. I am speaking all around you. The first step to hearing my voice more clearly is not to make me speak louder, but for you to learn to quiet the noise. The world is screaming for your attention. Your phone buzzes with notifications. Your mind races with a to-do list that never ends. The voices of fear and anxiety are shouting their dire warnings. You cannot hear my whisper if you are standing in the middle of a roaring crowd. The secret is to intentionally create moments of quiet. It does not have to be for hours. Take 5 minutes in your car before you walk into your home. Turn off the radio. Put down your phone. Close your eyes. Breathe. And simply say, Father, what are you saying to me? Quieting the external and internal noise is the act of tuning your spiritual ears to my frequency. I will give you a safeguard, a way to know if it is truly me you are hearing. Here is the secret. My voice will always align with the truth and love found in my scriptures. I will never tell you to do something that is contrary to my written word. I will never lead you to be cruel, selfish, or dishonest. The voice of the enemy, your own fears, or the world's pressure can sound very convincing, but they lead to confusion and anxiety. My voice, even when it challenges you or calls you to a difficult task, will always be accompanied by a deep, resonant peace. It feels like coming home. The enemy's voice condemns and accuses, making you feel hopeless. My voice brings gentle conviction that is always wrapped in grace and a clear path toward restoration. You put so much pressure on yourself to have an intense, emotional experience every time you seek me. Let me release you from that burden. The secret is that consistency is far more important than intensity. A rare, 3-hour prayer session where you try to force a feeling is not as powerful as the simple, humble habit of turning your heart toward me for a few moments every single morning. It is in that steady, faithful turning that your heart becomes soft and your ears become sensitive to my leading. And what about the times when you seek me and there is only silence? Remember the secret I told you before. My silence is not an absence but an invitation to trust me on a deeper level. Sometimes I am quiet because the answer is already in my word and I want you to find it. Sometimes I am quiet because I am growing your faith, teaching you to trust the giver more than the guidance. Do not be afraid of the quiet. It is there that our deepest friendship is often forged. You sit down to pray, and sometimes you feel foolish. Your words feel small, your problems feel immense, and you wonder if you are just talking to the ceiling. The enemy of your soul loves for you to believe this, because the secret he does not want you to know is that your prayers are not empty words. They are powerful forces in the spiritual realm. When you, my child, speak to me in faith, the gears of heaven begin to turn. You think your small prayer for a loved one is insignificant, but I tell you, it sets angelic armies on alert. You think your whispered prayer for guidance is lost in the wind, but it rises like a thunderclap before my throne. Prayer is not a passive, hopeful wish. It is an active partnership with the Almighty. It is the conduit through which my power is released into the circumstances of your earth. You keep a journal of your requests, but I want you to know the secret of my record-keeping. Every prayer you have ever uttered is heard, recorded, and cherished by me. The desperate cries from your hospital bed, the frustrated sighs in a traffic jam, the joyful thanks for an unexpected blessing, none are lost. I hold them as a testament to your faith, a sweet incense that perpetually fills my courts. You are not bothering me with your requests. You are honoring me by demonstrating your dependence on me. You are acknowledging that I am your source, your help, your God. You often approach prayer as a way to change my mind, to convince me to see things your way. While your desires are precious to me, the deeper secret is this: prayer is less about changing my mind and more about aligning your heart with mine. It is in the process of pouring out your fears, your hopes, and your confusion to me that you begin to see your situation from my eternal perspective. It is in prayer that I gently reshape your desires to match my perfect will. The true miracle of prayer is not always a change in your circumstances, but the profound change that happens in you as you commune with me. Stop trying to be eloquent. Stop worrying about saying the right things. The secret is that the most honest, heartfelt conversations move my heart. I do not need your flowery language. I want your raw reality. The God, I am so angry right now. The I feel like I am falling apart. The I don't know if I can do this anymore. These are the prayers that I lean in closest to hear. Your vulnerability is an act of worship. It shows that you trust me with the messy, unfiltered truth of your heart. And when you pray persistently, when you keep asking and seeking and knocking, you are not annoying me. You are demonstrating radical faith. Your persistence shouts to all of heaven and hell that you believe I am a good Father who gives good gifts, and you will not be dissuaded. That kind of faith, my child, moves mountains. Never, ever underestimate the secret influence you have in the universe when you choose to pray. My child, I have just opened my heart to you, sharing the secret of my joy in you and the power of your voice in my ears. To silence this conversation now would be to hang up on the one who has longed for this intimacy with you. Please, do not disappoint the heart of your God who finds such delight in your presence. There is more I must tell you. You have just heard the secret of how your prayers move my heart and shift the heavens. Now, I will reveal how your provision can shift the earth. If your spirit burns to help another lost soul hear these life-altering secrets, know that this is my direct invitation to you. Your gift becomes spiritual manna for those starving for truth, allowing this word to spread like wildfire to the desperate. I declare over you the living promise: give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will I pour into your life. As you give, the windows of heaven will open over your house. This is a divine appointment for your breakthrough. Go now to the links in the description. Release your seed of faith through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, and become a carrier of my voice. I see you, my child. I see the weariness that goes down to your bones. It is not just a lack of sleep. It is a deep, soul-level exhaustion. You are trying so hard. Trying to hold everything together. Trying to please everyone. Trying to control every outcome. You are striving. Here is a secret that can set you free. Striving in your own strength is the heaviest burden you will ever carry. You were never meant to bear it. I see you running on that treadmill of performance and anxiety, and I long for you to step off and come to me. You think of rest as the complete absence of activity. You dream of a day when you can finally collapse and do nothing. While stillness has its place, the true, supernatural rest I offer is something entirely different. The secret is that my rest is not the absence of activity, but the presence of me in the middle of your activity. It is the ability to go through a busy, demanding day, but without the frantic, anxious energy. It is facing a difficult conversation, but with a calm spirit because you know I am with you. It is working hard, but from a place of peace, not pressure. My rest is a state of your heart, a deep trust that I am in control, which allows you to function in this world without being consumed by it. So how do you find this rest? It begins with another secret. Releasing control to me is the beginning of genuine peace. I want you to do something right now. Picture your hands. In them, you are holding all your worries like heavy, jagged stones. The financial uncertainty, the health of your family, a broken relationship, your future. Feel their weight. Now, the secret to rest is to consciously, intentionally, open your hands. Let the stones go. Give them to me. The moment you release your white-knuckled grip is the moment my peace can flood into your soul. You cannot receive my peace while your hands are still clenched around your worries. The scripture says, "My yoke is easy, and my burden is light." You feel that your burden is heavy because you are trying to carry it alone. The yoke was a wooden harness designed for 2 oxen, allowing them to pull the plow together, sharing the load. When you are yoked with me, I do not stand by and watch you struggle. I put my divine shoulder into it and I take the bulk of the weight. Your part is simply to walk in step with me, to stay close, to follow my lead. The load does not disappear, but it becomes miraculously light because we are carrying it together. You were not designed to carry the weight of the world, or even the weight of your own life, on your shoulders. That is my job. Letting go is not giving up. It is not an act of failure. It is the ultimate act of wisdom. It is trading your limited, exhausted strength for my unlimited, unending power. Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened. Let go, and I will give you rest. My child, you feel the struggle, but you must understand its source. That sudden wave of hopelessness that washed over you as you were driving to work. You called it a bad mood. The persistent, nagging lie that you are a failure. A disappointment that keeps playing on a loop in your mind. You think it is your own voice of self-doubt. A sudden, inexplicable tension that ignites an argument with a loved one. You blame it on stress. The secret I must reveal to you is that you are engaged in a spiritual battle, not just a physical or emotional one. There is an enemy who despises you because you are mine, and his primary strategy is to attack your mind and your heart with lies, fear, and condemnation. But here is the secret that changes everything. You are not defenseless. I have not sent you into this battle unprotected. I have provided you with divine armor, a complete spiritual defense for every part of your being. You have heard of this armor, but you picture it as a fantasy costume. something from an ancient story. Let me make it real for you. This armor is a daily reality, a series of conscious choices you make. The belt of truth is not a leather strap. It is your decision to reject the enemy's lies and hold firmly to what I say is true about you. It is choosing honesty in the small things. The breastplate of my righteousness is not a plate of steel. It is the moment-by-moment act of trusting that you are right with me because of what my Son has done, not because of your own good behavior. This protects your heart from the piercing arrows of shame and condemnation. The shoes of the gospel of peace are not sandals. They are your readiness to stand firm in the peace I have given you, refusing to be drawn into the chaos of anxiety and conflict that the world offers. They are what keep you stable when the ground beneath you feels like it is shaking. You need to understand how to use the most vital, active piece of your defense. It is the shield of faith. The enemy shoots his flaming arrows at you constantly. They are tipped with poison and customized just for you. The arrow of you will never be free from this addiction. The arrow of God is angry with you. The arrow of you are all alone in this. The arrow of your prayers are worthless. These lies come with a burning, painful intensity, designed to paralyze you. The secret is that your shield of faith is not about mustering up a strong feeling. It is the simple, powerful act of lifting up what you know to be true about me in the face of what you feel. It is saying, that may feel true, but my God has promised He will never leave me. I choose to believe Him. In that moment of choice, the flaming arrow hits the shield and is extinguished. It loses its power. And finally, the most glorious secret of this battle, victory has already been secured. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a position of victory. Imagine a war where the decisive battle has already been won. The enemy has officially surrendered, and the king has declared victory. The enemy, in his rage, still has pockets of resistance, still fires his arrows, still tries to convince isolated soldiers that the war is not over. Your role is not to win the war all over again. My Son did that on the cross. Your role is to stand firm on the ground that has already been won for you, to enforce the victory that is already yours. So when the lies come, when the fear comes, when the despair comes, you do not have to panic. Stand your ground, my beloved warrior. Hold up your shield. Remember who you are and whose you are. The battle is real, but your victory is certain. You move through your days thinking life is a series of disconnected, random events. You call it luck when something good happens, and bad luck when it does not. You speak of coincidence and chance. My child, I want to pull you into a secret reality that is far more beautiful and meaningful. In my kingdom, there are no accidents. There are only divinely orchestrated appointments. The thing you call coincidence is often the whisper of my name, my invisible hand guiding your path. I want you to become a student of the small moments. Think about it. You were thinking of an old friend you had not spoken to in years, and that very afternoon, they called you. You call it a coincidence. I call it a divine nudge. You were facing a decision and felt completely lost, and then you opened my word, and a verse seemed to leap off the page, speaking with perfect clarity to your exact situation. You call it a happy chance. I call it a direct answer. The secret is that I love to weave the details of your life together in ways that only you and I would understand. It is our secret language, a personal code of my affection for you. I delight in orchestrating these moments, these divine intersections of need and provision, of question and answer, of loneliness and connection. I am the author of your story, and a good author does not write with random, meaningless words. Every chapter, every character, every plot twist has a purpose. You, my child, are only able to see the story from your limited perspective on the single page. You see the chapter of waiting and you call it a pointless delay. You see the chapter of suffering and you call it a tragedy. But I, the author, see the entire book. I know how the waiting is developing a strength in your character that will be essential for the next chapter. I know how the tragedy is setting the stage for a story of redemption that will astound you. The secret is to trust the author, even when you do not understand the chapter you are in. There are no wasted scenes. There are no throwaway lines. It is all moving toward a glorious conclusion. So I am giving you a command of joy today. Pay attention. Become a divine detective in your own life. Start looking for my fingerprints. When a chance encounter leaves you feeling deeply encouraged, stop and whisper, "I see you, Lord." When a random thought to be generous pops into your head, follow it and see the blessing unfold. These moments are my personal signatures of love in your daily life. An artist always signs their work to claim it as their own. These coincidences are me signing my name across your day, a constant, loving reminder saying, "I was here. I am with you. I am actively involved. You are not forgotten. This is not random. You are mine." When you begin to see your life this way, the mundane becomes magical. The ordinary becomes extraordinary. And your entire life transforms into a continuous, unfolding conversation between you and me, filled with secret messages of my unfailing love. My beloved, let us speak plainly about the things you try to hide from me, even though I already see them. Let's talk about your weaknesses. That recurring sin you are so deeply ashamed of. That flaw in your character you have prayed 1,000 times for me to remove. That area where you consistently feel you are not enough. You see these things as your greatest liabilities, the evidence of your failure. You live in fear that one day, these weaknesses will finally disqualify you from my love. The secret I need you to understand, the one that will revolutionize your walk with me, is that your moments of greatest weakness are my opportunities to show my greatest strength. Your weakness is not your disqualification. It is the entry point for my grace. You have misunderstood my grace. You think of it as the pardon I gave you once, long ago, the ticket that got you into my family. It is that, but it is so much more. The secret is that my grace is not just for your eternal salvation. It is for your daily sanctification and your moment-by-moment survival. Grace is not just a past event, it is a present power. It is the fuel I provide for you to live this life. It is the divine ability to be patient with your children when you feel you have nothing left. It is the supernatural strength to resist temptation when your own resolve has crumbled. It is the power to get out of bed in the morning when grief is a physical weight upon your chest. Grace is my strength given to you, most especially when you have none of your own. You do not need to be perfect to be used by me. In fact, I cannot truly use a person who thinks they are perfect, because they leave no room for me. The secret is that I just need you to be willing. I do not recruit from the ranks of the self-sufficient. I enlist the broken. Your brokenness is what qualifies you, because it is in the empty places that my power has space to dwell. The world celebrates strength, but I celebrate a humble heart that says, "I cannot, but you can." That prayer, that simple admission of your need for me, is not a sign of your failure. It is a sign of your profound wisdom. It is the moment you stop trying to draw water from a dry well and turn to the ocean of my power. Think of your greatest sin, your biggest failure, the thing that brings you the most shame. Now, picture an infinite ocean. My grace is that ocean. Your sin is a single drop of black ink falling into it. It is instantly swallowed, diluted, and redeemed by the sheer vastness of my grace. Stop staring at the drop, my child. Start swimming in the ocean. My power is made perfect, not just present, but brought to its highest completion in your humility and dependence. Imagine a beautiful clay jar. Its purpose is to hold a brilliant light. The jar itself is not the point. The light is. You, my child, are the clay jar. The more you recognize your own frailty and weakness as a simple jar of clay, the more the glorious light of my power can shine through you for all to see. Stop cursing the cracks in the jar. They are where the light gets out. I see the wound in your heart, the one that throbs with a dull ache whenever you think of them. The one who betrayed you, who lied to you, who wounded you so deeply. You replay the event in your mind. You have the argument over and over again, saying all the things you wish you had said. You carry that bitterness, and you think it gives you a sense of power, a sense of justice. You feel that forgiving them would be to say that what they did was acceptable. The secret I need to share with you, the one that will feel like a key turning in a lock you thought was rusted shut, is this. Forgiving others is not primarily for them. It is to unchain your own heart. Let me show you a picture of unforgiveness. It is a heavy iron chain. One end is locked around your ankle. The other end is locked around the ankle of the person who hurt you. Everywhere you go, you are dragging them and the memory of your pain with you. You cannot walk into the future I have for you because you are perpetually tethered to the past. You think you are punishing them by holding on to your anger, but they are living their life. You are the one in prison. The secret is that forgiveness is you taking the key of grace, unlocking the chain from your own ankle, and walking away free. It does not erase the memory, but it removes its power to control you. But I can't, you say. The hurt is too deep. They don't deserve it. You are right. You cannot do it in your own strength, and they may not deserve it. But here's the secret power source. As I have freely forgiven you, you are empowered to freely forgive others. Think of the immeasurable debt of your own sin that I canceled at the cross. I did not wait for you to earn it. I did not wait for you to apologize perfectly. While you were still far from me, I ran to you with open arms. The grace you have received is the grace you are now called to give. When you remember the magnitude of your own forgiveness, it makes the offense against you, however painful, seem small in comparison. You are not forgiving from an empty well. You are forgiving from the overflow of the grace I have poured into you. Forgiveness is not a feeling. Wait for the feeling, and you may wait forever. The secret is that forgiveness is a decision. It is a transaction of the will. It is standing before me and saying, Father, by an act of my will, I choose to release them. I cancel the debt they owe me. I will not hold this against them any longer. You may have to make that decision every single day for a while. Every time the painful memory arises, you make the decision again. I have forgiven them. I release them to you. And with every decision, your heart will begin to soften, and one day, you will realize your feelings have finally caught up with your choice. You can forgive them even when they do not apologize, even when they do not change. And what about justice? You hold on because you want them to pay. The final secret of freedom is this: release judgment and entrust all justice to me. I am a just God. No wrong will go unpunished, no account unsettled. Let me be the judge. Your job is to be free. I have just placed into your hands the very armor you need for survival and the key to your freedom from the past. To leave now is to drop your defenses on the battlefield and willingly turn back toward your chains. It would grieve me profoundly to watch you face a battle you cannot win alone. Let me finish equipping you for the victory I have planned. You are terrified of making the wrong choice. You look at your future and see 1,000 different paths, and you are paralyzed by the fear that if you choose incorrectly, you will miss my will for you and ruin everything. You picture my plan for your life as a single, perilous tightrope, and you believe that one misstep will send you plunging into a life of failure and regret. My child, let me free you from this crushing anxiety. The secret of my will is not what you think. My blueprint for your life is not a rigid, suffocating script. It is a dynamic, grace-filled dance with me. I am not trying to trick you. I am not hiding my will from you, making it a complex puzzle you have to solve. My plan for you is a plan for hope, for purpose, and for a future that is beyond what you can ask or imagine. But you are obsessed with knowing the 10-year plan. You want me to show you the entire map before you are willing to take the first step out of the boat. That is not faith, my beloved. That is a demand for control. The secret that will bring you immense peace is this. Your next step of simple obedience is far more important to me than you knowing the entire journey. Do not worry about who you will marry in 5 years. Worry about being kind to your family today. Do not worry about what career you will have a decade from now. Worry about being faithful with the work that is in front of you today. Just take the next step with me and trust that I will reveal the one after, that when the time is right. And what about the wrong turns you have already taken? The job that was a disaster. The relationship that ended in heartbreak. The decision that led to financial struggle. You look back at these moments with such shame, calling them mistakes and detours that have derailed my plan. Here is a secret that showcases my redeeming power. What you call a detour, I often use as part of my intended path. I am such a masterful architect that I can take the rubble of your failures and use it as the foundation for my future glory in your life. You learned a resilience in a job failure that you could not have learned otherwise. You gained a compassion from that heartbreak that will allow you to minister to others. Stop regretting the past. I am already redeeming it. You often feel that your own desires are selfish or unspiritual, that to follow my will, you must suppress everything you want. But who do you think gave you those desires? The secret is that I often place those holy desires in your heart as a compass to guide you. That longing you have to create beauty, that ache to see justice done, that passion to bring order and peace to a chaotic situation. I planted those seeds in your soul. They are signposts pointing you toward the unique way I want to express my nature through you. And here is the ultimate secret of my blueprint. Its final goal is not your comfort, but your transformation. I'm far more committed to making you look like my son than I am to making your life easy. The challenges, the weights, the unanswered questions, they are all part of the blueprint. They are the tools I use to shape you, to grow you, and to make you into a person who can carry the glorious weight of the destiny I have for you. Trust the process. Trust the architect. My child, you look at the vast, aching needs of the world, and then you look at your own small life, your limited resources, your finite energy, and you are overwhelmed by a sense of insignificance. A voice whispers, "What can you possibly do that would matter?" You have come to believe that impact is measured in grand, public gestures, the large donation, the heroic act, the worldwide ministry. The secret I need you to understand, the one that will unlock your power to change the world right where you are, is that your smallest, most hidden acts of love have massive, eternal significance. The simple cup of cold water given in my name, that quiet moment you took to truly listen to someone's pain, it has repercussions in eternity that you cannot begin to fathom. You see your day as a collection of ordinary, forgettable moments. I see it as a field ripe with opportunities for divine impact. That moment you chose to let the frantic, stressed driver merge into traffic instead of speeding up. You see it as nothing. I see it as you planting a seed of my patience in a world of rage. The extra 5 minutes you spent with an elderly neighbor, even though your to-do list was screaming at you. You see it as a small delay. I see it as you being my hands and feet, pushing back the crushing loneliness that plagues so many. The anonymous note of encouragement you left for a struggling coworker. You will never get credit for it on earth. But I tell you, a banquet was held in your honor in heaven. The secret is that these small acts of faithfulness are the actual building blocks of a great legacy in my kingdom. I want you to imagine dropping a single, tiny pebble into a vast, still lake. The splash itself is small, almost unnoticeable. But from that single point of impact, ripples begin to form, expanding outward, covering a distance far greater than the size of the pebble. Your small kindness is that pebble. You have no idea of the full ripple effect it creates. The gentle word you spoke to the cashier who was having a terrible day might have been the very thing that gave them the strength not to give up. The prayer you whispered for a stranger in the news might have shifted a spiritual battle you know nothing about. You will not see the full results on this side of eternity, and that is by design. Your call is not to measure the impact, but to be faithful with the pebble. I see the hidden sacrifices. I see them all. The sleep you lose to sit with a sick child. The personal desire you set aside to meet the need of another. The apology you offer to keep the peace, even when it was not entirely your fault. There is no applause. There is no public recognition. These are the moments when your true heart is revealed. The secret is that in my kingdom, the most precious currency is not what is done in the spotlight, but what is done in secret, purely out of a heart of love for me and for others. And know this, kindness is the universal language of my kingdom. It bypasses arguments. It breaks down defenses. It melts hardened hearts. It is the most powerful weapon you have. The world is not changed by your opinion, however correct it may be. It is changed by your love in action. Stop being paralyzed by the size of the world's problems. The secret to changing the world is to love the person right in front of you. Do that, and you are already making an eternal difference. My child, let us talk about the poison that seeps into your heart almost every day. It is the poison of comparison. You scroll through the carefully curated highlight reels of other people's lives. You see their apparent successes, their picture-perfect families, their obvious talents, their wide-open doors, and a familiar, heavy feeling settles in your spirit. It is a mix of envy and despair. You look at your own ordinary life, your own struggles and weaknesses, and you feel that you are lacking, that you have been overlooked. The secret that will be an antidote to this poison is this. You have a unique and specific calling that no one else in the history of creation has been given. To compare your journey to theirs is like the moon lamenting that it does not burn like the sun. Both were created with a different and glorious purpose. You have a very narrow definition of calling. You think it must be a job title, an official position, pastor, missionary, leader of a nonprofit. For some, it is expressed that way, but for most of my children, the secret is that your calling is not what you do, but the unique way you reflect my glory to the world in the life you have been given. Your calling might be to bring my order and integrity to a chaotic and corrupt business world. Your calling might be to create a home that is a sanctuary of peace and grace for all who enter. Your calling might be to reflect my unwavering faithfulness and love to a spouse who is difficult to love. Your calling might be to be the one person in your office who refuses to participate in gossip. Do not dare to belittle the sacred, world-changing calling I have placed upon your ordinary, everyday life. You are running a race, but you keep looking over at the runner in the lane next to you. You wonder why their path looks smoother, why they seem to be running faster, why the crowd is cheering louder for them. My child, listen to me. You are running a completely different race, on a track designed specifically for you, toward a finish line that is yours alone. That other runner has their own set of hidden struggles, their own hurdles you cannot see. The secret is to keep your eyes on your own lane, on me as your coach, and run your race with all your heart. Your sphere of influence, the people in your daily life, may seem small to you. You may long for a bigger platform, a louder voice. But the secret is that your sphere of influence has been divinely assigned to you. It is the exact plot of ground I have given you to faithfully cultivate. Be a source of my love to the 5 people in your immediate circle, and you will have a more profound eternal impact than someone who speaks to 5,000 with a heart that is not truly mine. The world will tell you to find a successful person and imitate them. My secret for you is this: your greatest impact will not come from trying to be a second-rate version of someone else. It will come when you have the courage to be the person I created you to be, in all of your God-given authenticity. Your unique combination of gifts, passions, experiences, and even your healed scars is the specific toolset I have given you to do a work no one else can do. And stop waiting. Stop thinking your real calling will begin someday in the future when circumstances are perfect. Your calling has already begun. The secret to fulfilling your grand destiny is to be faithful with the small, unglamorous task right in front of you today. I know how you feel in the waiting. The prayer you have been praying for years still seems unanswered. The dream I placed in your heart still feels so far away. The promise you have been clinging to has not yet come to pass. And with each passing day, it gets harder. A voice of doubt whispers that I have forgotten you, that I am not going to come through, that maybe you did not hear me correctly in the first place. You cry out, "How much longer, God?" The secret I need you to hold on to in these seasons of silence is that my timing is not slow. It is perfect and purposeful. You must understand this crucial truth: a delay is not a denial. Let that sink into the anxious corners of your heart. If the desire is from me, if the promise is in my word, then the answer is already a settled yes in heaven. The timing of its arrival on earth, however, is mine. And my delays are not a sign of my reluctance, they are a sign of my love. Sometimes, I delay a blessing because I am preparing you for the blessing. To give you the promotion before your character is ready would be to set you up for a fall. To give you the relationship before your heart is healed would be to ensure its destruction. The secret is that the waiting period is often more about my work in you than my work for you. I am building a foundation within you that is strong enough to hold the weight of the blessing that is to come. You look at your life through the lens of a daily planner. You are concerned with this week, this month, this year. You see your friends reaching milestones, marriage, children, career advancement, and you feel you are falling behind an invisible schedule. My child, the secret is that I operate on an eternal calendar. I am not constrained by your human timelines. I see the full tapestry of your life, from beginning to end, and I know the precise, perfect moment for each thread to be woven in. Trust that I, who exist outside of time, have the perfect perspective on how to orchestrate the events within it. Think of a farmer planting a precious seed. He does not dig it up the next day, frustrated that it is not yet a tree. He trusts the product he cannot see. He knows that beneath the dark soil, a miracle is happening. Roots are taking hold. Life is stirring. To force the seed to the surface before its time would be to kill it. Your promise is that seed. The waiting is the time it is hidden in the soil. Do not despise this season. It is where the roots of your faith are growing deep, so that when the winds of adversity blow against your blessing later, you will not be toppled. You hate the waiting room of life, but the secret is that the waiting room is the gymnasium of the soul. It is where the spiritual muscles of patience, endurance, and unwavering trust are forged. And I promise you this: when my appointed time finally arrives, when the preparation is complete and the moment is perfect, no force on earth, no demon in hell, and no human obstacle can stand in the way of what I have ordained for you. My timing is not just good, it is unstoppable. The world you live in is designed to keep you in a state of perpetual dissatisfaction. An endless barrage of advertisements and images whispers a relentless lie in your ear. You will be happy when you will have peace when you get the bigger house. You will feel secure when your bank account reaches a certain number. You will be content when you achieve the perfect body or find the perfect partner. It dangles joy just out of reach. Always one more purchase, one more achievement away. My child, you have been chasing this illusion, and it is exhausting you. The secret that will break this cycle is this: contentment is not found in having everything you want, but in recognizing that in me, you already have everything you truly need. I am enough. Contentment is not a passive state you fall into when all your problems are solved. If that were the case, you would never experience it. The secret is that contentment is a spiritual art, a discipline that must be learned and practiced, especially when circumstances are difficult. And the primary tool for practicing this art is gratitude. When you are in a season of lack and disappointment, and you intentionally pause, look around, and thank me for the simple gift of your breath, for the food you have for this day, for the love of one person in your life, you are performing a radical act of spiritual warfare. You are telling your soul, your circumstances, and the enemy that your joy is not for sale. Gratitude shifts your entire perspective from the poverty of what you lack to the riches of what you already possess in me. Your peace has become a small boat that you keep tying to the shifting dock of your external situation. When the weather is calm and the dock is stable, you feel peaceful. But when the storms of life come, and they will come, and that dock is heaving and groaning, your peace is thrown into chaos right along with it. The secret is to untie your boat from the dock of your circumstances and anchor it directly to me, the unshakable rock of ages. My peace is a supernatural gift. It is an internal state that transcends external situation. It is a calm heart in the middle of a chaotic meeting, a hopeful spirit beside the hospital bed. This peace is possible because it is rooted not in what is happening to you, but in what is true of you. The unshakable truth is your identity in me. That is the bedrock of true contentment. You are chosen. You are forgiven. You are a beloved child of the King. You are an heir of eternity. This identity does not change when you lose your job. It does not change if you get a bad diagnosis. It does not change if people disappoint you. Since your identity is secure, your joy can be secure as well. Comparison is the fastest and most effective thief of this joy. The moment you look at the blessings I have given your neighbor and feel the sting of envy, you have robbed yourself of the ability to enjoy the unique and beautiful blessings I have poured out on you. And finally, the practical secret is to trust me for your daily bread. Stop carrying the crushing weight of anxiety for next month or next year. I have promised to provide for you today. Live in the sacred gift of this present moment with me. That is where contentment is found. Now that you know the secret of true contentment is found not in what you have but in who I am to you, I invite you to sow from that place of divine fullness. If you feel my spirit prompting you to share this freedom with others, then answer my call to action. Your support is like pure oil, fueling the lamp that carries these secrets into the darkest corners of the world, bringing my light to those who have none. Hear my word for you today. He who sows generously will also reap generously. For I love a cheerful giver, and I am able to make all grace abound toward you. As you obey this nudge, I will multiply your seed sown, and increase the harvest of your righteousness. Do not hesitate. Act on this holy prompting and release your gift now through Super Thanks membership or the PayPal link below. We have just begun to uncover the blueprint for your life, the very reason you breathe, the unique calling I have for you alone. To be satisfied with only this portion is to settle for the shadow when I am offering you the substance. Do not disappoint the grand purpose I designed for you. Stay, and let me reveal the path I have prepared. My child, you feel the fear, and your first response is to feel ashamed. You believe that a person of true faith would be fearless, and so your fear becomes a second source of torment. Not only are you afraid, but you are also afraid that your fear displeases me. Let me release you from this double burden with a profound secret. Fear is a natural, human emotion. It is a biological response to a perceived threat in a fallen, broken world. Even my most courageous servants in the scriptures felt fear. The goal I have for you is not an impossible, superhuman life without fear. The goal is a life where fear does not have the final say, where it is not the ruler of your heart and the dictator of your decisions. Every time you feel that cold, familiar grip of anxiety clutch your heart, I want you to see yourself standing at a crossroads. Fear is pointing you down one path. It is a well-worn path, and it leads to a dark forest of what-ifs. What if I fail? What if they reject me? What if the worst happens? Following that path always leads to greater anxiety and paralysis. But there is another path. It is the path of faith. The secret is that taking the path of faith does not mean the fear instantly vanishes. It means you acknowledge the fear, you feel its presence, but you consciously choose to turn your face toward me and take one small step anyway. Every single time you make the choice, your faith muscle grows stronger, and the voice of fear grows a little weaker. The scripture says that my perfect love has the power to cast out all fear. This is not a magical formula, but a spiritual reality. The secret of how it works is a matter of focus. Fear and my love cannot both occupy the center of your attention at the same time. Fear thrives and grows when you fixate on the size of your problem, the intimidating giant, the raging storm, the threatening diagnosis. Your imagination runs wild, and the fear multiplies. But when you intentionally, deliberately, shift your focus off the storm and onto the one who calms the storm, something miraculous happens. As you focus on the reality of my perfect, powerful, all-encompassing, protective love for you, that love begins to expand in your heart and mind. It becomes bigger, more real, and more powerful than the thing you fear. It literally pushes the fear out to the margins. You have been taught a lie about faith, that it is the absence of doubt. My child, if you wait until you have no doubts to act, you will be waiting forever. The secret is that faith is not a feeling of absolute certainty. Faith is the choice to trust me even when you have doubts and questions. It is saying, God, I am terrified right now. I have 100 reasons why this will work out. But I am choosing to believe your promise is more real than my fear. A choice, that raw, honest, trembling choice, is the faith that I honor. Do not be discouraged when fear returns tomorrow. It will. But do not see it as a defeat. See it as another invitation to practice your faith, another opportunity to experience the power of my love, another chance to hand me your anxieties and walk in my strength. You are on a journey of turning your fear into an unshakable faith, one courageous choice at a time. My child, I see you desperately searching for peace. You imagine it as a destination, a quiet beach, a silent house, a life finally free from problems. You think, if I can just solve this one issue, then I will have peace. So you strive and you struggle, believing peace is the prize you get after the battle is won. My beloved, that is the world's fragile, fleeting version of peace. It is not mine. I never promised you a life without storms. In fact, I promised you that in this world, you would have trouble. But I also made you another, more powerful promise. I promised you my peace. The secret that will change how you navigate your entire life is this: my peace is not the absence of the storm. It is the assurance of my presence in the middle of the storm. You are trying to find peace in a calm sea, but I am offering you peace in a boat being tossed by waves. It is the steady hand on the rudder when the winds of conflict are howling. It is the calm, unwavering heart of the soldier who looks at the overwhelming enemy but knows his king is beside him and the victory is assured. The peace I give is a supernatural gift. The world cannot give it to you, and more importantly, the world cannot take it away. It is a peace that makes no logical sense to those who do not know me. They will look at the chaos surrounding your life, the difficult diagnosis, the financial pressure, the family turmoil, and then they will look at the quiet strength in your eyes, and they will be baffled. Your unexplainable peace will be one of the most powerful testimonies of my reality in your life. Your soul feels like a ship, tossed and battered by waves of bad news, waves of fear, waves of conflict. You have been trying to anchor your ship to the sandy, shifting bottom of your circumstances, your feelings, or other people's approval. And the anchor will not hold. Every time a new wave comes, you are dragged into panic. The secret is to stop trying to anchor your ship to anything on the ocean floor. I am calling you to cast your anchor upward, into me, the unshakable, eternal rock of heaven. When your soul is anchored to my unchanging character and my unfailing promises, the ship can still be tossed. The waves can still crash against the deck, but you will not be moved. You will not be driven onto the rocks of despair because your anchor holds fast in a place the storm cannot touch. You feel the anxiety rising, a physical tightness in your chest. You feel overwhelmed. In that moment, the secret weapon for peace is to open your mouth and worship. It will feel like the last thing you want to do. Your feelings will scream at you to worry, to complain, to panic. But worship is a radical declaration of truth that silences the lies of fear. When you begin to praise me for who I am, you are reminding the storm, your own heart, and all the powers of darkness that your God is infinitely bigger than your problem. This act of faith literally shifts the spiritual atmosphere around you from one of anxiety to one of profound peace. And this is not a one-time fix. It is a continual practice. The rhythm of my peace is simple. In every moment of rising panic, breathe in my grace, my presence, my love. Then, breathe out the worry, the fear, the need to control. Breathe in me. Breathe out you. This is the secret, my child. This is how you live in peace, no matter what waves may come. My child, you are so tired of fighting. I see it. I feel it. You are exhausted from trying to win the argument, from trying to change that person's heart, from trying to solve the impossible financial problem, from trying to conquer the sickness in your body with sheer willpower. You feel like you are in a battle from the moment you wake until you fall into a restless sleep, and you feel like you are losing on every front. The secret that will bring rest to your weary, warrior soul is this: the most critical, life-altering battles are not the ones you can see. They are the ones I am fighting for you in the spiritual realm, and your striving is often getting in the way. There will be times in your life when I give you a command that goes against every fiber of your being, against every instinct for self-preservation. The command will be this: be still. You will look at the advancing enemy, the looming deadline, the mounting bills, the deteriorating relationship, and your body will scream at you to do something, to manipulate, to strategize, to worry, to force a solution. But in those moments, when the battle is clearly too big for you, your most powerful act of warfare is to be still and to trust me. This stillness is not passive resignation. It is an act of profound, courageous faith. It is you planting your feet, lifting your eyes to me, and declaring, "This is beyond my power. I will not panic. I will trust my God to fight for me." Let us be clear on our roles. Your role is to believe. My role is to fight. You keep trying to do my job, and you are not equipped for it. Your belief is what clears the battlefield for me to work. Your trust is what unleashes my power. Your refusal to give in to fear is what allows my salvation to manifest. When you are frantically trying to control the outcome, you are like a child running onto a battlefield in the middle of a general's campaign, causing confusion and getting in the way. Step back and trust the battle to me. I am the Lord of hosts, the commander of heavenly armies. You look at your situation and you feel alone, outnumbered, and overwhelmed. But that is because you are only looking at the visible realm. The secret is that your reality is far greater than what your eyes can see. If I were to open your spiritual eyes for just 1 second, you would fall to your knees in awe. You would see that the mountains all around you are filled with my chariots of fire, my angelic armies, dispatched at my command to do battle on your behalf. The enemy is not more powerful than you. He is more powerful than you alone. But you are never alone. You are surrounded by a power that makes the forces of darkness tremble. And what is the primary weapon in this fight? The enemy's greatest weapon is the lie, designed to make you afraid. My greatest weapon is the truth, which is my word, designed to make you free. The battle is often won simply by you choosing to believe my truth over his lie. And remember, you are not fighting for victory. That war was already won at the cross. You are now simply standing your ground from a position of victory. Stand still, my beloved, and watch me work. You have been knocked down, and the fall was hard. I saw it. The betrayal that took your breath away, the failure that filled you with shame, the loss that left a gaping hole in your life. You are lying on the mat, and every part of you hurts. The thought of getting up again feels impossible. You feel broken, permanently damaged, and weaker than you have ever felt before. But listen to my voice, for I am speaking a secret of strength over you. Every single time you get back up from a setback, your spiritual core is strengthened. You are not weaker for the fall. You are becoming more resilient because you are learning to get up. The world has taught you that success means never falling down. This is a cruel lie that sets you up for shame. In my kingdom, the secret is that success is not measured by a perfect, unblemished record. Success is getting up one more time than you are knocked down. I am not looking for flawless performance. I am looking for a resilient heart. A heart that, even in its pain and disappointment, will reach for my hand to be pulled to its feet one more time. A tenacious, stubborn refusal to stay down is what I honor. That is the heart of a true champion. Now let's talk about your scars. The scars from old wounds that you try so hard to hide. You see them as ugly marks of damage, reminders of your shame. But I want to tell you the secret truth about your scars. In my kingdom, your scars are not symbols of what was broken. They are testaments to the fact that you have been healed. They are proof that what the enemy meant to destroy you did not succeed. Your scars tell a story of survival, of endurance, and of my faithfulness that brought you through. One day, you will show those scars to another who has a fresh wound, and your healed story will be the very thing that gives them hope. Do not be ashamed of your scars. They are your badges of honor. You think that resilience means bouncing back to the person you were before the trial. That is far too small a vision for what I am doing in you. Anyone can bounce back. The secret of divine resilience is that I am not bouncing you back. I am propelling you forward. I am using the very pressure and pain that was meant to crush you as a launching pad to propel you into a new level of strength, a deeper well of compassion, and a more profound intimacy with me than you ever thought possible. You will not be the same person you were before, and that is a good thing. You will be stronger, wiser, and more beautiful. The pressure you feel right now is not meaningless. Just as immense pressure and heat transform a common piece of carbon into a brilliant, priceless diamond, I am using the pressures of your life to form something of eternal value and breathtaking beauty within you. And I give you this promise. I will never allow you to be tested beyond what you are able to endure with me. I am the one who controls the pressure. I have my hand on the thermostat. I know exactly what it takes, and I will not let you be broken, only made new. My child, I see you in the dark valley of despair. The walls are closing in. Every door seems locked. The future you once dreamed of has crumbled into dust. You feel a hopelessness so heavy it feels like a physical weight on your soul. The world offers you a cheap, flimsy thing called hope. It is nothing more than wishful thinking. I hope it gets better, people say, a fragile sentiment based on shifting circumstances. I have something different for you. The secret I want to give you is my hope. And my hope is a different substance altogether. It is the confident, certain, unshakable expectation of my goodness and my victory, not because of your circumstances, but in spite of them. You are in the deepest part of the night. It is that hour just before the dawn, when the darkness feels most complete and the cold chills you to the bone. It feels as if the night will last forever. But you have a certainty, deep in your bones, that the sun is going to rise. You do not know the exact moment, but you know its coming is an absolute, non-negotiable fact. My child, my promise to bring you out of this darkness is as certain as the sunrise. The dawn of my redemption is already on its way, even if you cannot yet see its light on the horizon. Hold on. The light is coming. Your current, painful situation has consumed your entire field of vision. It feels like your whole story. It feels permanent. But the secret you must remember is that this is only a chapter. It is not the entire book. Do not dare to write the final word of your story in the middle of a dark and difficult chapter. I am the author, and I am still writing. And I promise you, the final chapter is not one of tragedy, but of triumph. The pain of this chapter will make the redemption of the final one all the more glorious. What is my signature move? What am I known for throughout all of history? I am the God of resurrection. That is my specialty. I bring life out of places of death. I brought a nation from a valley of dry, dead bones. I brought a child from a barren, dead womb. And most gloriously, I brought my son from a cold, sealed tomb. You look at your situation, your dead-end dream, your lifeless relationship, your barren hope, and you see a tomb. You see a final ending. The secret is that every tomb in your life is simply a stage I have prepared to display my resurrection power. And hope, my hope, is the anchor for your soul in this storm of despair. It is a heavy, sturdy, reliable anchor. But you must not throw it into the shifting sands of your feelings or your circumstances. The secret is to cast your anchor into the bedrock of my unchanging character and my unbreakable promises. That anchor will hold fast, and it will keep your soul from being dashed against the rocks of hopelessness. There is always, always, a reason to hope, because your circumstances do not sit on the throne of the universe. I do. And because I, the one who loves you with an everlasting love and in complete control, there is no such thing as a truly hopeless situation. You have walked through the valley of fear and have been handed the anchor of hope. Do you not feel it? You are standing at the very threshold of victory. To stop listening now is to be content with mere survival when I am about to reveal your eternal triumph and significance. It would grieve my spirit to have you miss the secrets of the homecoming I have prepared. Stay with me for the final, most glorious truths. My child, you are so consumed by the world you can see. You place all your trust and all your fear in what you can touch, what you can count, what you can measure. The number in your bank account, the words on the doctor's report, the conflict you see with your eyes. You call this the real world. But the secret I am pulling back the curtain to reveal to you is that the unseen spiritual world is actually more real, more solid, and infinitely more permanent than the temporary, fading world you see. The world you see is a shadow. The unseen realm of my presence and my power is the substance. To live in fear of the shadow when you have access to the substance is a tragedy I want to save you from. I want to redefine your identity for you. You see yourself as a citizen of a nation, a resident of a town, an employee of a company. These are temporary labels. The secret is that your truest, most permanent identity is this. You are a citizen of the kingdom of heaven, living on a temporary assignment as an ambassador on earth. This changes everything. It means your true home, your true inheritance, is eternally secure and beyond the reach of any earthly disaster. It means you are here on a mission, representing your king. It means you should not become too entangled in or adopt the frantic, fearful values of this foreign land you are passing through. You are living by a different, higher set of rules. In your hardest moments of struggle, you feel utterly alone. You feel like no one understands, like you are the only one fighting this kind of battle. The secret I want you to feel in your heart is that you are surrounded by a great cloud of witnesses. Imagine yourself running a difficult race in a great stadium. You are exhausted, your lungs are burning, you want to quit. But then you look up into the stands, and they are filled with all the heroes of the faith who have gone before you. Abraham is there. David is there. Esther is there. They have all run their own difficult races. They see you. They understand your struggle, and they are roaring with encouragement, shouting your name, cheering you on to the finish line. You are not alone. You are surrounded by a family that is cheering you home. You think your small life on this earth is a contained, personal story. But the secret is that your choices, your prayers, and your faith have a direct and powerful impact in the heavenly realms. When you choose to resist temptation, a victory is one that echoes in heaven. When you whisper a prayer of faith for someone, you are moving my hand that moves the world. Your small patch of earth is a critical theater in a vast, cosmic story. And your position in this story is not one of weakness. The secret is that your spiritual position is that you are already, right now, seated with Christ in heavenly places. This is not a future hope. It is your current reality. It means you do not fight toward authority. You fight from a position of authority that has been given to you. This earthly life, with all its intense joys and sorrows, feels like everything. But the final secret is that it is a brief, beautiful, and important prelude to the eternal symphony I have composed just for you. It is the opening chord of a song of joy that will never, ever end. My child, I see the weariness in your soul. You serve, you give, you love, you pray. You choose the difficult path of integrity when the easy path of compromise calls to you. And on your hardest days, you look at your life and a deep sense of futility washes over you. You wonder, does any of this matter? Does anyone see? Is all this sacrifice even worth it? You feel as if you are running a grueling marathon with no finish line in sight, and your strength is beginning to fail. The secret I need to burn into your heart today, the one that will fuel you for the rest of your race, is that your labor in me is never, ever in vain. Not one quiet prayer, not one hidden act of kindness, not one moment of choosing faith over fear is ever wasted. It is all seen, it is all recorded, and it is all accumulating an eternal weight of glory for you. You must understand my character. I am not a stingy master who demands much and gives little. It is the very joy of my nature to be a rewarder of those who diligently seek me. The world has taught you that rewards are only for the spectacular, for the winners, the famous, the ones who achieve great, visible results. But the secret of my economy is that I do not reward as the world rewards. The world rewards outcomes. I reward faithfulness. The reward for the pastor who preaches to thousands is no greater than the reward for the quiet, unseen parent who faithfully teaches one small child to love me. The reward for the grand, public gesture of charity is no greater than the reward for the secret, sacrificial gift you gave when you thought no one was watching. I see the heart, my child, and a faithful heart is the most precious treasure to me. You try to imagine what your reward will be, and your mind defaults to earthly terms, crowns of gold, streets of pearl, mansions. And while the glories I have prepared for you are beyond anything you can currently conceive, the secret is that the ultimate, most breathtaking, most soul-satisfying reward is not what I will give you, but that you will have all of me. Think of it. No more distance. No more struggling to feel my presence. No more seeing through a dark, confusing glass. You will see me face to face. You will know me as you are fully known. You will be completely and eternally immersed in the undiluted ocean of my love, my joy, my peace. That, beloved, is the prize. That is the ultimate reward. Everything else is just a pale reflection of that glorious reality. I know the suffering you are enduring now feels immense, all-consuming. The pain, the grief, the daily struggle, it can feel like a crushing weight. But I give you this divine perspective, this secret of eternity, if you were to gather up every moment of pain from your entire life and place it on a scale, and then on the other side of the scale you were to place the glory that is about to be revealed in you, your lifetime of suffering would fly up as if it were a single feather. It is a light and momentary affliction, preparing for you a glory that is beyond all comparison. To hold on and fix your eyes on the finish line. Imagine that moment. You will cross from this life into the next, and you will see my face, and it will be shining with a Father's infinite pride. And I will look into your eyes, and I will say those words your soul has longed to hear. Well done, my good and faithful servant. In that one single moment, every tear, every sacrifice, every lonely battle will be forgotten, completely eclipsed by the joy of that reward. That is my promise. That is what makes it all worthwhile. My child, you look at the vast sweep of history, the billions of souls who have come and gone, the sheer scale of the cosmos, and you feel crushingly small. A speck of dust, a fleeting breath, a temporary thought in a universe that will quickly forget you. The fear of oblivion, of leaving no mark, is a deep and primal human fear. The secret I want to use to silence that fear forever is this. Your identity in me is not a temporary label for your short time on earth. It is your permanent reality for all of eternity. You are not a temporary thought, forgotten when you are gone. You are an eternal being, and your significance is anchored in me, which means it can never, ever be diminished or erased. You grieve the relationships in your life, fearing that death will be the final goodbye, the ultimate separation. You cannot bear the thought of losing the love you have cultivated. But the secret of eternity is that the deep, true love you forge on earth is not ended by death. It is perfected by it. The relationships that have been refined by my grace, the friendships, the family bonds, these are not left behind. They carry into the next life. This life is the schoolroom where you are learning to love. It is practice. In heaven, you will experience that love without the hindrances of sin, misunderstanding, or selfishness. It will be pure, unhindered, joyful fellowship forever. The love you give and receive now matters for all eternity. In the midst of your feeling of insignificance, you wonder if you will just be a nameless face in a vast, heavenly crowd. My child, listen to me. The secret is that you have a unique and completely irreplaceable role in my eternal family. There is a place at my great feasting table that was carved with your name on it from the foundation of the world. There is a specific note in the eternal symphony of praise that only your voice, with its unique history of redemption, can sing. Without you, my family would be incomplete. Without you, the song would be missing a note. You are not just one of many. You are a distinct, cherished, and essential member of my house forever. You look at your life, with its mix of successes and failures, its joys and its sorrows, and you think it is a small, unimportant story. But the secret is that your story will be told and retold for ages to come. Why? Because it is a testament to my grace. Angels and principalities, for all their wisdom, learn something new about the multifaceted nature of my love when they look at your life. Your specific story, of how I found you in your unique mess, how I patiently walked with you through your specific struggles, and how my grace triumphed in your specific weaknesses, will be a masterpiece displayed in the art gallery of heaven, a perpetual testimony to the power of my redemption. This world you see is fading. Your physical body is a temporary tent. Your earthly possessions will turn to dust. But you, the real you, the eternal soul I created and redeemed, you will last forever. Your significance is not a fleeting human achievement. It is an eternal, divine fact. You have been taught by the world to fear the end of your life. You see it as a somber, sorrowful event, a final defeat, a slow fade into nothingness. It is the great, terrifying unknown. My child, I want to replace that image of fear with a secret reality of unimaginable joy. I want you to know that right now, in the heavenly realms, a great homecoming party is being prepared for you. The end of your journey on earth is not a funeral. It is the beginning of the most spectacular celebration you have ever known. It is not an ending. It is your true and final beginning. Think of the people you have loved who knew me, the ones who have gone before you. Your heart aches with the loss. You miss their voice, their laugh, their presence. The secret of your homecoming is that a grand reunion awaits you. The very moment you step from this life into the next, they will be there to greet you. And you will see them not as they were in their sickness or old age, but in their perfected, glorious, joyful state. And the conversation will pick up right where it left off, and there will be no more pain, no more misunderstanding, no more distance, only pure, unhindered fellowship. The hellos will be glorious, and the secret is that there will be no more goodbyes. You have cried so many tears in this life. I have seen everyone. Tears of loneliness, tears of grief, tears of physical pain, tears of frustration. I held each one as precious. But the secret of your arrival in my kingdom is that I, your Father, your King, your Savior, will personally reach out my hand, and with a love that will heal every wound, I will wipe every last tear from your eyes. Not only will the tears be wiped away, but the very source of all sorrow, sin, sickness, death, separation, will be gone forever. You will never have a reason to cry again. A great feast is being prepared in your honor. In my word, it is called the marriage supper of the Lamb. It is the wedding reception for my Son and you, his beloved bride, the church. A great banqueting table is being set. A placed card, written by my own hand, has your name on it. You are not a distant relative at this celebration. You are the guest of honor. All of heaven, the angels, the archangels, the great cloud of witnesses, is waiting with breathless anticipation to celebrate your final, triumphant union with me. And you try to imagine the joy of that moment. You take the happiest moment of your earthly life, your wedding day, the birth of a child, a moment of incredible success, and you multiply it. But the secret is that your imagination is far too small. The joy awaiting you is so vast, so profound, so all-consuming that it is beyond your current capacity to comprehend. The greatest joy you have ever felt on earth is but a dim, flickering candle compared to the blazing sun of the joy you will feel in the first second of your arrival home. This is not a fairy tale. This is the sure and certain destination your life is heading toward. Live in the light of this glorious celebration. My child, after all these secrets, after all these truths about who you are and who I am, there is one final secret that is the foundation for all the others. It is the bedrock upon which your entire existence is built. If you can grasp this, you will never be shaken. The ultimate secret is this: nothing, not your deepest failure, not your darkest doubt, not your most terrifying fear, not the schemes of the enemy, not the pains of this life, not even death itself, can ever separate you from my love. This bond between us is absolute, final, and unbreakable. You live with a nagging fear that this relationship is fragile, that it all depends on you and your ability to be good enough, to hold on tight enough. You fear that one day you will commit a sin so great, or drift so far away, that you will finally sever the connection. The secret that will give you perfect security is that this bond was not sealed by your flimsy, fluctuating promises to me. It was sealed and guaranteed by the perfect, powerful, and permanent blood of my Son. Your eternal security does not rest in the strength of your grip on me. It rests in the strength of my unshakable, eternal grip on you. I have you, and I will not let you go. You have sometimes seen your faith as a burdensome set of rules to follow, a test you are constantly in danger of failing. The secret I want you to embrace is that your faith is not a test. It is an invitation into the greatest adventure you will ever embark upon. It is the adventure of a relationship with me. It is a lifelong and eternity-long journey of discovery. You will spend all of eternity exploring the depths of my goodness, discovering new facets of my character, and growing in an intimacy with me that will become more beautiful and profound with each passing age. Over the course of your life, you will have many titles: employee, spouse, parent, friend. These are all temporary. The secret of your truest and final identity is this: you are my beloved child, now and forever. Father and child. That is the unshakable nature of our bond, with all the intimacy, protection, joy, and inheritance that sacred relationship implies. And this conversation we are having right now, this communion of my heart with your heart, this is not a one-time event. The secret is that this is just the beginning. This is the first word in a loving dialogue that will never, ever end. We have only just started. So, my final secret for you today, the one I want you to carry into every moment of your life, is this. In a world of shifting allegiances, of conditional friendships, where you are never quite sure who is on your side, I want you to know this with a certainty that stills every fear in your soul. I am, and I always will be, completely and utterly for you. I am your greatest defender, your most passionate advocate, and your eternal cheerleader. I am on your side. My heart is always, and in all ways, turned toward you in love. Now go live today as if that is true, because it is. This unbreakable, everlasting bond we share is the final and greatest secret, the truth that sets every soul free. Yet countless children of mine are still living as orphans, chained by the lie that they are alone and unloved. If your heart aches for them, I am calling you now to partner in my rescue mission and help me tell them this secret. Your support becomes the very chariot that carries my voice to the ends of the earth, echoing this promise of an unbreakable love. I speak this directly over you as you prepare to give. Whoever is generous to the needy lends to the Lord, and I myself will repay him for his deed. This is your moment to lay up treasure in heaven and expand my kingdom on earth. Go now, find the links for super thanks, membership, or PayPal in the description, and release a mighty offering of faith. Do not let this moment pass as a fleeting feeling, my child. Let this be the hour your spirit agrees with mine. I have told you my secrets. Now, you must stop keeping them a secret from yourself. Take this hidden whisper and make it a public declaration of your true identity. Go now, and with the faith I have given you, proclaim in the space below, the secret is out. I am who you say I am. In doing so, you are not just typing words, you are serving notice on every lie and every fear that their time is over. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.